I'm on a hit list of a few divas. They see me dripping with Rich the Kid, yeah, that new freezer. All we got is us, Lou Peter. New visa for the two-seaters. Same year like the new feeders. Drippy like the youth readers. The youth need us, the booth feeders. 750 boots, I ain't talking about the new Adidas. Them rhymes is poppin', them signs is poppin'. Dimes are dropping, we diamond shopping. We island hopping. From St. John's to St. Thomas. A good wife, living a good life. That's what they can't promise. For more than 4 summers, I was Mr. Whoremonger. Who the horse hunger, laying more lumber than Hank Shaw, Jim Duggan doing tour numbers. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. To this day, you gotta have a good wife. To this day, yeah. You the ground for the seed. Promise I'm down to be around when you need. I ain't the king without the crown for the queen. I made a vow when I was proud, she agreed. Got me down on my knees. Get you a ring and then a house with a deed. 40 acres of land surrounded with trees. We could turn the jungle to a town if we breathe. Lay you down and conceive. I'm the one, she the two, we made it 3. This is real, this ain't a dream, or make believe. You got the lock, I got the keys, I'll set you free. You got me thinking the heavens that you were sent to me. That you be pleasing me physically, even mentally. You got the flavor, ingredients in the recipe. Only place you belong is sitting next to me. Cause I was made to be yours and this is destiny. If you wanna have a good life, good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife, if you wanna have a good life. Good life, then you gotta have a good wife. Good wife.
The intention is boom, vibe is dynamic, seen the way that I move. You think he can handle it? What's your fantasy? What's your plan with me? Rubbing on my nipples, he was giving me energy. Kundalini rituals before the king entered me. Womb activated in his eyes, I could clearly see. Pranayama deep strokes, my God, he be healing me. I just wanna build and establish a legacy. Open conversations and no spaces for jealousy. It's alchemical therapy. Soon as you next to me, we a beautiful recipe. This especially destiny. When I see you, I see God. I see love, love. I see us. I sometimes.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you. That right there is Good Wife off of the album of the summer, the Red Summer. All right, Brother Red Pill featuring Cam Bada and Lizzie Jeff. Shout out to Lizzie Jeff.
To this day. To this day.
Yeah. Big goddess energy. You know what I'm talking about? Big goddess energy right there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So salute to everybody. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Monday. Although it's Tuesdays, you know, nobody is counting. You feel me? Yeah. I wasn't able to do it last night. I was too exhausted. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I was too exhausted. I didn't want to give y'all you know, half-ass red pills. So we here tonight. Shout out to my brother Rich. I was just on Black Magic 363. We was chopping up some game. Shout out to that brother. If you didn't see the episode, put that in your watch later and check it out. You know what I'm talking about? Check it out. All right. Let's do the roll call. We in the building. Let's find out who's in the building and where y'all are tapping in from. So we're gonna do the roll call. Tenacious Tuesdays. No, this is Taco Tuesdays right here. You know what I'm talking about? This is Taco Tuesday. You know what I'm talking about? So let's do the roll call. Let's see who's in the building. And then we're gonna do the show. We're gonna start the show. First off, we got Michigan in the building. We got Gainesville, Georgia in the building. We got Omaha in the building. We got Virginia in the building. Is it true Virginia's for lovers? We got Santa Rosa in the building, Brockton, Montgomery, Detroit, Jersey, DMV, Peoria, Santa Rosa, Charlotte, H-Town, Bronx, New York, Norfolk, Bed-Stuy, do or die, Florida, the land of flowers, Kansas City up in this thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, buy the dip. Dipset. You know what I'm talking about? Dipset, August 3rd, buy the dip. Ottawa, Canada. We global, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Iowa, OKC, Grenada or Grenada, tomato or tomato, Huntsville, Tetragrammaton Tuesdays. That's what this is going to be. Tetragrammaton Tuesdays. Chicago in the building, Texas in the building, New Orleans in the building, DeBerg is in the building. Yeah, Philly was popping, Jamaica, Queens. All right, Bay Area. Yeah, West Virginia, Gulfport, Mississippi, Indiana, Myrtle Beach, up in this thing. New Orleans up in this thing. UK in it. Where the bruvs at? Yeah, Little Rock, Arkansas, Denver, Camp. Yeah, nigga, Uganda. What's popping? Peoria, Illinois, Mississippi. Is that David Banner? New Uganda, Manhattan, Illinois, 7 Mile. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. All of the nodes are linked. This is the master node right here. All of the nodes are linked together. This is a global conversation. The whole planet is in here. Yeah, big queens. You know what I'm talking about? Big queens. Colombia. Shout out to Colombia. I'm gonna be there soon. You know what I mean? I gotta make a Carolina tour. Got a lot of supporters in the Carolinas and whatnot. I'm finna pull up in the Carolinas soon. You know what I mean? Montreal, Canada, T Dot, 40 side of Vernon, RPL Will.
To this day.
You know what I'm talking about?
To this day.
Rye, New York. I've been to Rye Playland. It's nice up there. Let me find out. Happy to see some Carolina neighbors. Carolina's neighbors, y'all meet each other, man. Make friends. Carolina's in the building. You know what I mean? Slide in her DM. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make friends and whatnot. Because to be honest with you, that's one of the good things about, you know, the roll call, because you get to see that you're not alone. You know what I mean? You get to see, no, not Ill Will the rapper, Ill Will Nasty Nas boy from back in the days. He died in the 80s or the 90s. That's Ill Will Records, not Ill Will the rapper. Please. Okay. DMV. You know I'm talking about? Queens in the building. So you know we got to give Biz Markie his flowers. I wasn't able to do a eulogy for Biz Markie, right? I wasn't able to do the Biz Markie eulogy with Brother Rich. Usually we do a eulogy when one of the greats makes the transition and whatnot. So we're gonna talk about Biz Mark's impact. You know what I mean? Anybody that has been on this show, you know, I love to get in the time machine and go back in time. And I do this, I do it for a few reasons. It's therapeutic. Live from Portland, Oregon, Durham, NC, DMV up in this thing. And I'm talking about Southern California. It's a lot of Queens people in here. Yo, Queens, link up. Virgin Islands, in it, Bombaclat, and Virgin Island brethren. Yeah, I'm talking about. That's where my mama from. ATL by way of NO. All right. So I'm gonna set it off. I'm gonna start it off because I don't want to forget to give this man his flowers. All right. Okay, Washington Heights is up in this thing. Were you in Dykeman? Beloit, Wisconsin. CT is definitely repping. Shout out to CT Compton. I see you, Compton. Toronto, T Dot 215. I see you. All right. We up in here deep. Let me find out. People from everywhere. You niggas thought it was a New York thing. You know what I'm talking about? We from everywhere. This is a global family. This is an initiative. So let me start talking, because I could be doing roll calls for 2 hours up in this thing. Yeah, and definitely congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I mean? The Milwaukee Bucks. I hope that helps. I saw game 5 and they was in Phoenix, and then they had like a crowd. They had a camera, and it spanned the crowd in Milwaukee. Me and my dad was watching it, and all I seen was white arms. I'm like, God damn! It was a sea. It was a never ending sea of white folk cheering a bunch of niggas shooting basketballs in a rim. And I'll be like, you see what I'm talking about? Y'all only love us when we dribble in the ball, even though niggas don't need your love. But we got your state lit, my nigga. We got Milwaukee lit. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all kind of tax benefits, and people are they're gonna put respect on Milwaukee's name. You know what I mean? Jon Snow bunnies will be like, I'm from Milwaukee, and niggas will be like, for real? You know what I mean? We add value to your state. Have some respect. Yeah, it was a sea of mayonnaise. You know what I mean? 60,000 people was outside the milk. That's why I was an endless sea of mayonnaise. God damn it. They pull up. You see how many people pull up to watch the brothers put it in, get it in? I should hear of no black men getting killed in Milwaukee by the police for another 10 years. Yeah, Jon Snow is just it's a code word for the Snow Kings that a lot of the sisters, that's their Snow King. We call him Jon Snow. Yeah, I'm talking about. We call him Jon Snow. And the women are snow bunnies. Okay. I'm gonna have to put a dictionary out one day so we can understand the lingo. But yeah, man. My early childhood, going back to what I was saying, the reason why I get in the DeLorean and I go back in time is very therapeutic to my mind because, there's trauma back there in my childhood. You know what I mean? So when you got trauma, you tend to bury things, you forget about shit. You know what I mean? Like you don't really realize, how fun your childhood was and whatnot. So when I talk about my earlier years when I was listening to hip hop and I was a young whippersnapper, you feel me? Now, if your snow bunny, right? If your snow bunny is from like Zone 6 in Atlanta, or if your snow bunny got face tats, then her new name is Snow Keisha.
To this day. To this day.
If your baby mama if she got face tats and she throws hands, her name is Bar Keisha. But they got Snow Keishas out there too. Y'all better watch out now. But you know, I like to go back in time and talk about the influence that music had on me. And secondly, I'm fully aware that there's people in the audience who were born in the 90s and who were born in the 2000s and stuff. Like you got some young people. It's 2021. It's niggas on here that was born in 2000. I still can't wrap my mind around it. I really can't. You know what I'm talking? Y'all grew up too fast, but it is what it is. So I'm out here. I'm out here giving y'all a little bit of history lesson. You know, I try my best to paint the picture so you don't got to get it on VH1 because they don't always give the whole picture. I try my best to give you a picture from a time that I was alive and I experienced. I'm not giving you no book. I didn't read it from a book. I didn't get this shit secondhand. I was there. It wasn't like I was breakdancing with these niggas, but I was a young man. I was a child. I was like my son's age. Well, not in 86. I was 11. You know what I mean? 86, 87. These are the golden era. When niggas talk about the gold, for some of y'all, Cash Money taking over for the 2000, that's your golden era. That's not my golden era. No offense. And I'm not judging anybody. If that's your golden era, then that's your golden era. My golden era, right? See, somebody said the first time you saw Biz Markie was in Men in Black. Like somebody is taking away you no offense, but if that's the first time that you saw Biz Markie, god damn it, bro. Like, we need to get this history lesson out there. You need to get into some Bismarcky and not from Men in Black. You know what I mean? That's later on down the line. His strongest impact was in 86, 87, no, 87, 88, and 89. That is called the golden era of hip hop. Even if you niggas grew up on mumble rap and that's all you listening to is drill music and shit, like what who cares? It's still the golden era. The golden era, we don't just call it the golden era because we're out here romanticizing a era. It was a feeling. There was a look. This is right before it got commercialized. Remember, niggas' parents did not let them listen to hip hop unless your parent was really hood and whatnot. Hip hop was seen as, it was like how consciousness is seen in certain people's household. I told y'all before, and I was just on Rich show, and the brother, he said it in the chat. He was like, "Yo, my wife don't like when I watch you. Consciousness is the new porn." You know what I'm talking about? You can't, certain people can't watch Red Pill in their household. Niggas gotta sneak to watch me. Like, yo, I'll be right back. I'm going to get the baby bottle out the car. And then they pulling up Melanin Monday, sneaking a look. They sneaking a peek, my nigga. Because they can't watch me in the house. Back in the days, that's how hip-hop was in certain households. They was like, you can't listen to this shit. Niggas' parents was like, niggas' parents was on some Cosby shit. You know, they was on some Huxtable shit. They was like, you're not playing Salt and Pepper. This is the devil's music. It was secular. The same way that when our parents, well, some of our parents were young, because some of you niggas' parents was young and like they was at Freaknik and whatnot. I'm talking about I'm my father, he's of the 60s and the that generation. So when my father was young, like Sly, Sly and Funkadelics, Parliament, that was the devil's music, my nigga. That was the devil. They did not want them to listen to no James Brown. James Brown. That was Drake, nigga. James Brown. That was secular. They talking about coochie, and he got all of those funky ass footsteps. You know what I mean? And he's screaming on a mic, and this nigga's incoherent. No, parents wasn't having that. You couldn't listen to no James Brown in a Christian household. You know what I'm talking about? They wasn't having that. There's like, that's secular. And look how y'all dancing. Y'all grinding on each other. No, niggas, they wasn't having that. So our generation, our version of that was hip hop. You try to play Cool G rap in your mama house, she'll kick you out the house. That's when Will Smith came along. That's when Run DMC getting with Aerosmith. That shit changed. That's when LL Cool J with the fucking shirt off. These are the MCs that made hip hop commercial and acceptable to niggas' parents. They became household names and whatnot. Run DMC with Aerosmith. After Aerosmith, they became more. This is the whole job of Def Jam. The whole thing with Def Jam was to create commercialized rappers who were acceptable to mainstream America and household names and whatnot. Prior to that, you try to be like, yo, mom, listen to this KRS-One shit. She's like, yo, mom, I want you to listen to this motherfucking Schoolie D. She's like, what is this? Schoolie D? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they wasn't on that shit. Yo, mama, listen to some Africa, man.
To this day. To this day.
They wasn't listening to that. Yeah. And then the movies started coming out like Beat Street, Electrics, Boogaloo, Crush Groove and shit like that. And it was like, mom, take me to the movies. I want to see the hip hop. And then they was warming up to it, right? Yeah, everybody's mother loved Heavy D. But what I'm saying is Heavy D in them is like 90. Run DMC. Well, Heavy D is not 90. My bad. I'll take that back. Heavy D was rapping with Biz Markie. Heavy D is late 80s as well. And whatnot. You got in trouble for listening to Eazy-E's first. I got in trouble for listening to Cool G rap because he had a song called Talk Like Sex. And I think my pops heard he was talking about box. It was like, nigga, what the fuck is that? Give me that tape. And he broke that shit. Fam, I felt like I was gonna die. You know what I mean? Like it was hard on me. So they didn't play hip hop like how they play it on the radio right now. They play hip hop at night on the weekends, Mr. Magic at 10 p.m. That's why niggas had tape decks and we were copying the Mr. Magic show and we was copying Red Alert and whatnot. We would dub the tape and we would listen to the tape on our Walkmans. If you niggas know what that is, we will listen to the tape all 7 days until the tape pop, and then we will go ahead and tape over that shit with the new show and whatnot. Shit like that. Yeah, we had it real hard. You know what I mean? We had it real hard. So when NWA and them come in like 1990, and when Luke Campbell with Two Live Crew and MC Hammer was a commercialized, Sir Mix-a-Lot, a little bit. Young MC was commercialized. Like Yo MTV Raps, their job as well, along with Def Jam, was to make this shit commercial and take it from, I won't say it was underground because it wasn't underground. It was just the culture. The whole culture. Graffiti was not accepted, my niggas. Breakdancing was frowned upon. You gonna break your neck. Breakdancing was frowned upon. The thick laces in your Adidas, that was frowned upon. Back spinning and shit and on cardboards, nigga, that was frowned upon by the old heads, by niggas' moms. And if you don't get your ass up, you know what I mean? Spray painting. Oh no, you could get your teeth knocked out. Spray paint? You niggas is spray painting? Oh no. You could get bodied, yo. They wasn't having that. And then remember Spit and Ramon when he died on the tracks? They wasn't having that. Yeah, Yo MTV definitely helped. It softened our peoples up. It softened the peoples up because we was getting a lot of pushback. Then you had Dolores Tucker. She was hating. You know what I mean? And then Tupac came with his ratchet ass in 91. And he was getting in trouble every week. They hated Tupac. When I say they hated Tupac, they hated Tupac. I promise you. Tupac was like NBA Youngboy, my nigga, mixed with Kodak Black. They hated that man. I'm dead ass. When he did Juice, it softened up his image a little bit. People became a little more accepting of him because he had some acting chops. You know what I mean? But prior to that, they was like, this nigga's he's worthless. They hated Mike Tyson. Hated Mike Tyson with a passion. The old heads, like I'm talking about parents and whatnot, especially when he caught the rape charge. They did not like Mike Tyson. He was too rough around the edge. He was too niggardly. But he was a wild boy. The Mike Tyson that you see right now is not the Mike Tyson of the 80s. That nigga, and then he beat up Robin Givens. Oh, hell no. Oh, man. Mike Tyson was a op. They didn't like Mike Tyson. You know, they didn't like Ice-T either. He was a problem until he started acting. You know, he said, why the moon bloody? Nigga, red summer, it's a red moon. You know what I'm talking about? Do your rituals. He called Snoop a murderer? Right. Yeah. He caught that murder charge. Oh, they loved them some Robin Givens. And she was sitting there with her moms. That was mad uncomfortable watching that interview. She had her moms there and she was lining my nigga Mike Tyson up. And I was just like, not the champ. Not the champ. I was like, champ, you don't see what they doing to you, champ? And he was stuck. He couldn't even do nothing. He didn't know how to de-escalate the situation. His link, he didn't have enough lexicon in him. He didn't know how to talk his way out of that bag. Barbara Walters put his ass on a barbecue grill. So they hated Snoop. They hated Tupac. I mean, I'm talking about with a passion. Remember, we didn't have social media. The way that they gave the news up is not how CNN and all of these niggas give the news up these days. You see how the regular news channels, they'll speak about a rapper favorably. Oh no, that wasn't the case in the 80s. They wasn't talking favorably about no rapper, not even in the 90s. To be honest with you, it took Tupac and Biggie dying and like that's what kind of, you know, shifted things a little bit to where niggas' moms was consoling them and was like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right? You know, it's okay. Let's listen to the Puffy song Missing You." I mean, cuz you know, he's just a great guy. You know what I mean? Like it took Mason Bethel with the shiny suits and shit like that for people to really start to accept it. I promise you, it was weird, yo. So Biz Markie was a unique character in the whole pantheon of the golden era of hip hop because Biz Markie is the progenitor of what we know as fun rap, right? Digital Underground, Shock G, Rise in Power, the brother who was the Humpty Hump rapper. Shock G, when he came out, and he was doing his thing with the Humpty Hump, and niggas was laughing and whatnot. I feel that that was a definite influence of what Biz Markie represented, right? Biz Markie came through, and he came in the era. He was down with the Juice Crew. Is he on the symphony? Biz Markie is not on the symphony. Do you know why? Because he wasn't a gangster rapper. The gangster rappers, the niggas that had them like they had them gangster bars. That was dun 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 dun. That was the illest song. That was like the best. That's the best group song ever. Dun 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 dun. And then Big Daddy came on last. It's the cake. Yo, Nick, what? Crazy. I'm reminiscing. I'm reminiscing. Y'all got me breaking my microphone and everything. God damn it. Hold on a minute. I gotta fix the mic. So just to put into context, you know, what the Juice Crew was. The Juice Crew was one of the hardest hip hop groups back in those days, right? The Juice Crew was one of the hardest groups. Marley Marl was the DJ, right? He had Craig G, he had Cool G Rap, he had Bismarck, he had Roxanne Shante, and he had one of the illest MCs at that time, Big Daddy Kane, right? And now the mic ain't gonna fall. This mic has seen some of his last days, though. So we're gonna have to flip this shit. We're gonna have to switch it up. All of them was spitters, right? And they, yeah, it's not really a crew, it was a group. And what up, Cabin? See, this is my guy, DJ Cabin. He got the history. He's a DJ from back in the days. So remember, they had drama with KRS-One in them. Now, KRS-One was that nigga back then. Let's be clear. KRS-One shut down MC Shan with The Bridges Over, and he was super street. He had Just Ice. These was Bronx niggas, and they was about that life. You know what I'm talking about? Or what it appeared. They was about that life. KRS-One, when he first came out, he was about that life. He done went on some peaceful. This nigga, he's down with the Peace Corps and whatnot. But he was a battle rapper when he came out. He was throwing niggas off of stages. He was battle rapping. Kenny Parker and all of that. Boogie Down Productions. They was on some shit, right? So there was Queens. So Juice Crew was like, you know, Queens and Brooklyn. And then KRS-One and the Boogie Down. And they was more of the Bronx energy and whatnot. And that was like a little bit. And there was a bunch of other MCs. Let me not, you know, just act like it was only them. But that was like a rivalry that we was aware of. Yeah, Scott LaRock, right? And when Scott LaRock got killed, that was the first murder in hip hop. You know what I mean? Fucked us up. Scott LaRock got shot over a woman and whatnot, and that was the beginning of this whole necromancy and hip hop and whatnot, and it fucked us up. You know what I mean? As young kids, we really didn't know how to process that. I didn't even know if it was real at the end of the day. I thought it, you know, I didn't know because I didn't think that a rapper could die. I'm just giving you the mind state of an 11-year-old. That's how big hip hop was to us. I didn't even think that a rapper could die. That shit fucked us up. We was like, these niggas is immortals. They're on TV. Your man Pops had killed Scholar Rock. Damn. We was like, these niggas is on Ralph McDaniels. Like, how could they die? You know, they got truck jury. Like, niggas don't die. These are superheroes to us. They died. And they started coming out with music. Because after he died, KRS-One, in my humble opinion, it wasn't, he's still KRS-One, but there was a shift. In my humble opinion, a shift took place, right? And that lock that he had wasn't the same. He was, I believe he was mourning and whatnot. You know what I mean? He was still mourning and whatnot. Yeah, Miss Melody, you know, Just Ice, he was super gangster. And these niggas started rolling out this music. Roxanne Shante was one of the first female MCs to get that shit lit because she was going up against Roxanne. You know what I'm talking about? It was the two shorties, and both of them was baddies. Don't get it fucked up. It was both baddies. Don't get it twisted. UTFO had Roxanne, and the Juice Crew had Roxanne Shante. She was coming for that. She was coming for the crown of the Roxanne, the real Roxanne. They was going at it. That was a fucking shootout. Right? She cooled off in 91. Yeah. But that late 80s shit, she was lit. You know what I'm talking about? Door knockers, you know, with the Vaseline on her face. She was litty, my niggas. Had a little bubble and all of that. She was lit, right? Shout out to Young and May. And Craig G drop. You know what I mean? Master Ace drop. You know, and then Bismarck was dropping. And Bismarck was just like I said, he had the aesthetics, you know, he had the truck jewelry. You know what I mean? He had his niggas, what was his DJ Vaughn, Cool Master Vaughn C. I used to want to be like the other nigga that was his man who used to be mad cool, the ladies' man. That was me. You know, that was me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's me. Because when we used to watch Video Music Box as children, we would be like, that's me. You know what I'm saying? You would look at a rapper and be like, that's me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I was Cool V. You know? Cool V was mad smooth. He was super smooth. No, TJ Swan, nigga. Now you're older than TJ Swan. He sang on my records. Make the music, nobody beat the biz. Well, check it. TJ Swan had the fucking little Gucci, he had the little Louis pouch with the 2.5 in it. Nigga, I was TJ Swan. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's me. And this nigga Bismarcky had a fucking run, my niggas. This unmatched when it comes to hits. Make the music. If I could play the music right now, I would. This shit was legendary. I wasn't in the clubs, but I felt like I was in the club. I mean, you know, you had skating rings, the rooftop. Back in those days, my mama lived right on 153rd and St. Nick and whatnot. All of my Harlem niggas, you know what's up. Shout out to my Harlem niggas, Dipset. 153rd and St. Nick, right over the bridge. There's this big ass staircase. Down there is the rooftops. In the summertime, we'd be in the window and whatnot, because you know you couldn't be out after the street lights come on. We'd be in the window. You could hear the music from the rooftops, and right down there is the Ruckers as well. When you go down the thing, the Rucker and the rooftop was over there. We used to listen to. We would hear the in the cars, like Alpo and them was out there. The drug dealers, Alpo and all of them niggas. They used to be on St. Nick and whatnot. So we used to hear people riding in the Audis. You know what I mean? They had the music in the back seat of the Jeep. And I was like, this shit is fire. This shit is fire. So what Yeah, Saint it's near the cemetery. It's also near Edgecombe, right? Edgecombe. I used to go to right there in the corner there. I used to eat ice cream. They had the little, I think it was like Kennedy fried chicken and whatnot. I used to love their little Oreo ice cream. That was my shit. But anyway, so Biz Markie not only had hot music, he had hot ass videos. Now, I've shared this before with the family that when it came to Video Music Box, that precedes what is known as The Box. And that precedes, because niggas think I'm talking about The Box. No, nigga. Video Music Box, Ralph McDaniels. You had to live in New York to see it. And that comes before Yo MTV Rap. That precedes Ed Lover and Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. If anybody knows hip hop, they'll let you know how important Ralph McDaniel was. He was breaking artists like this. He was breaking artists through his video show. Everybody was tuned in at 3:00 to Ralph McDaniels in New York City. You know what I'm talking about? The streets would be empty, my niggas, because everybody would be watching. I think it came on at 3:30. Because we get out of school at 3, you get 30 minutes to come home, and you see Uncle Ralph. And he put you on to what the fuck was what's up. He put you on to who's lit, who the new artist is, what the new dance is, what the new hairstyle is. Everything was being done through Video Music Box. That's how he was breaking culture. He should be a billionaire right now. Oh, it was in a whole New York state? Okay, shit. Rough Buff, it was getting it. All right. Yeah. So Biz Markie not only had the hot music, this nigga had the hot videos. He was a comedic rapper, right? He didn't take himself too seriously. This was a day and time where the MCs was breaking down. Not Rakim was one of the most serious MCs that you could ever see in a video. He did not smile. He didn't curse. He was God body and he stood on his square. He don't dance. You never seen Rakim do a dance step. Big Daddy Kane was the dancer. Rakim was just straight up. He had the truck jewelry. He was known that he was hanging with killers and gangsters. And he had bars, my nigga. I'm talking about bars. He introduced he raised the level on rapping when Rakim came out. He kind of raised the bar, and Big Daddy Kane had to keep up with him. You know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane had Scoob and Scrap. These was some dancing ass niggas from Bed-Stuy, fly ass niggas. You know what I mean? 3 cuts in the eyebrows. The flat top was always perfectly manicured. You know what I'm talking about? And his wears, his fit was always on point. I mean, he's a Bed-Stuy nigga. You got to understand what that means, right? Yeah, Know the Ledge. Ish. That's Rakim's song, Know the Ledge. Mahogany, mahogany. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was with the real 50 Cent. That's right. He was rolling with the real 50 Cent. You know what I mean? He was rolling with the real 50 Cent, not the rapper, the 50 Cent, the nigga who the rapper got the name from. He's on the back cover of Rakim's album, Paid in Full. He was with the real Fort Greene niggas, right? Paid in Full, yeah, one of the biggest songs. Yeah, I need to see that verses too. I mean, let's cross our fingers. Hopefully that shit'll come. Yeah, Long Island's finest, Wine Dance. So there was a little tension between Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, but they never went at it. But they need that. They need to go ahead and bust. They need to do the verses and get it over with. I mean, as you can see, these rappers you know, they're making their transition early. So, you know, we might as well get that shit out the way. Yeah, Nas is definitely a byproduct of Rakim and Cool G. Definitely. And Big Daddy Kane, Jay-Z is a product of Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane that's the first tour that Jay-Z ever went on. Jay-Z said it out of his mouth. I was copying Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane was Jay-Z of those days. He was lit. There was no Biggie and Jay-Z. Big Daddy Kane was Brooklyn, my niggas. All day. All to this what?
To this day. To this day.
Now, I bring up Big Daddy Kane because Big Daddy Kane, come to find out, was the ghostwriter of a lot of material that you heard Biz Markie spitting. Biz Markie was he called it the stutter step, right? He had the stutter step. He was a rapper, right? He had flow, right? He was able to take the words and whatnot. Yeah, Jazzo, who brought up Jay-Z, is basically, influenced by the Big Daddy Kane swag. And the Big Daddy Kane, it's not just the swag, it's the bars. It's the bars. It's the hits that this nigga had. He had hits. Big Daddy Kane got hits back in the day. I promise you. You know what I mean? He was moving them gangsters. You know what I mean? The streets was, and the ladies loved them some Big Daddy Kane, my name. Let me explain this to you. Okay? Let me share this with you. He brought you chocolate niggas back. You know what I'm talking about? He brought you chocolate niggas back because Al B. Shore had it for a minute. El DeBarge had it for a minute. Christopher Williams had it for a minute. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he helped bring you niggas back to life. He had mad swag. Slick Rick, the ruler. Yeah, he was with Madonna. I don't know what she did. She flipped my nigga. She caught a body. She snatched his soul, and he was never the same. She did the same thing to Tupac. You know what I'm talking about? She be out there. She got a few niggas in a mason jar somewhere in Italy. She got a few niggas' souls in a mason jar because Madonna was out here laying these niggas down. I watched the Basquiat document. Who didn't she screw? I watched the Basquiat documentary. That was this nigga's one of his first girlfriends. I'm like, fam, this bitch had the GPS on black phalluses. She knew everybody to get, bro. Like, she is unfucking defeated. You niggas talk about Kim Kardashian, nigga, Madonna. She's a vampire. You talking about vampires in Brooklyn, nigga, vampire in Little Italy. She was not playing. And she got Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm talking about? When he was when he was getting chips, my nigga. Not washed up Dennis Rodman. She didn't do the Lamar Odom, nigga. She got Dennis Rodman when he was getting chips. Talk black to me. So, yeah, I take 7 MCs, put them in the line, then add 7 more brothers who think they can rhyme, and take 7 more before I go for mine. And that's 21 MCs, 8 up at the same time. Yo, Rakim Allah had these niggas shaking in their motherfucking valleys, my nigga. He had these niggas shaking in their British Nikes. You know what I'm talking about? He was putting pressure. He was bringing pressure to the game. I promise you, them bars was unfuckwittable for a while. You know what I'm talking about? Unfuckwittable. Okay. BDK even wrote Picking Boogers. Damn. So his pen was crazy. So he was writing for Bismarck, but the Bismarck delivery Bismarck just embodied that. He became, the songs, he embodied it. He made it his own. He had his own signature style, his own signature flow. He was funny. He was with having fun, and he was very vulnerable. He wasn't trying to be out there acting like he was a pretty boy. You know what I mean? So he was very he was a likable person, man. Very likable person. You know what I mean? We loved ourselves some Bismarck, man. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, he told the story on the Breakfast Club. Okay. I don't fuck with the Breakfast Club that tough no more, but I'll go and check it out. The Bismarck is a going off. The Biz a go off. Man, that video was crazy. Ha 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 ha. Check out Biz Bazaar. Rappers like me, that B-I-Z. So they had a grip on New York City. The Juice Crew had a fucking grip from 88 to 89. They had a super grip on the town. I promise you. Talk about Dipset. They had a super grip on the town. Super grip on the town. You know what I mean? A lot of MCs have studied Biz Markie. You know what I mean? He made it okay to rap about getting played by a chick. He wasn't trying to be Mr. Perfect. He was the rapper who was exposing the vulnerabilities of rappers. That's when everybody was, you know what I mean? There was an era in rapper where everybody was perfect. You know what I mean? There was an era in rapper where everybody was boasting of their quote unquote, their superiorness. He came with just a friend. You know what I mean? He came with just a friend. Right. And I'm sure that Biggie got his, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that when Biggie, Biggie is a student of all of these, the same way that we all were students. So, you know, he kind of was like, well, Biggie more so was influenced by Heavy D, and Heavy D was a ladies' man. Heavy D was the overweight lover and whatnot. So Heavy D was kind of showing, I'm a big nigga, but I get to these shorties. Like and like Kevin Samuel said, yeah, I'm high quality. You know what I mean? Heavy D was high quality. You know what I'm talking about? He wasn't just chasing no no Tatianas. You know what I'm saying? He was stepping out with, he had that quality, you know? So when Big was coming up, I feel that Big was more so catering his image to be a little more Heavy D-ish, more than like a Biz Markie, because he had a little bit of vulnerabilities, but he kind of, when he got with Puff, that shit went away. He was, he was like, I'm an overweight lover too, but he could not dance. Yeah, that nigga Heavy was dancing. Heavy D was a dancer. Him and Trouble T Roy, I mean, him and his crew, them niggas had happy feet. Biz Markie was the human beatbox. So you had the Fat Boys, Buffy from the Fat Boys. You had Dougie Fresh with Slick Rick, who had the song of the summer with Lottie Dottie in the show, right? Them niggas had them niggas had they had 2 summers with those 2 songs. They locked down 2 summers with the show and Lottie Dottie. That was 2 summers. The shit was lit. It was on the radio. It was lit for 2 summers. That's how ill them two. Um, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. On. You niggas had to be in the town to know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You niggas had to be in the town to know what I'm talking about, because they had the town with that one right there. You know what I'm talking about? They had the fucking town. Remember Little Vicious? Yeah, that's my brethren. Little Vicious with them a freak. That's later on. The original Dougie Fresh partner is Slick Rick. They was that I didn't even know that they was sing. I thought that they was always a group. You know what I mean? And then I heard Slick Rick's album and it was over. I was like, this nigga is crazy with it. You know what I mean? Slick Rick is a storyteller. But Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh had the skating rings. They had the clubs. Cause remember, 86, 87, you go to the club, nigga, it was a sausage party. You know, you was getting robbed in the club. I bring this up and I share it with the family. The in New York City culture, it was the tunnel era that changed everything, right? The tunnel era, and the tunnel era was fashioned by the bad boy era. And the bad boy era is Biggie, and then Mace, and then the Locks, the fucking Benjamins, nigga. It's the Benjamins era. It's all about the Benjamins. That's the era that we're talking about. That's when Shorty started coming to the club. That's when the baddies started popping up. I don't know where they came from. I don't know. This shit was like magic. I promise you. That's the Little Kim era. That's the Foxy Brown era. Niggas wasn't in the club dancing to Wu-Tang. No offense to the guards and whatnot, but that's not club music. Club music is One More Chance, the Benjamins. You know what I'm talking about? Who Shot You? That whole album that he put out. The you know what I'm saying? It was a little bit of Cameron too. Let's not fuck it up. 357. Dan, 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 dan. That shit that he had Horse and Carriage. All of that is tunnel era. All of that is tunnel era. Cash rules everything around me. Tunnel era. Everything Mob Deep drop. Tunnel era. All of that Queens killer shit. Tunnel era. Nas. Tunnel era. The discotheque. That's where Funkmaster Flex had cut his teeth. Big Cap and Funkmaster Flex on the ones and twos, tearing down the motherfucking club every Sunday. Legendary shit. Breaking records. DMX. Yeah, DMX came in with Get At Me Dog and whatnot. That's 97, right? After Big gets killed, DMX comes out. 98, 97. Jay-Z starts taking over, right? And then DJ Clue mixtapes is where we would get all of the music before we go to the club to hear it. It was the DJ Clue mixtapes. DJ Clue, SNS, what's my nigga from Uptown, the Spanish dude with the bop, doo-wop, right? All of the mixtape DJs was breaking niggas through the mixtapes and whatnot. Because everybody had a car and you would ride around, or you had your Walkman, or you had your radio, and it was all about the cars. Clue But Clue was the top mixtape DJ. Let's be clear. He would have more exclusives. His shit it was just more put together. It's more put together. You in 93, baby. That shit started in 93. That's the era that I'm talking about. The tunnel era would be like 94, but the shit started to bubble in 93. I know y'all had go-go music in DC. I came out there, was dancing to that shit. You know what I mean? What's the group? Rare Essence and all of that. I went to Howard Homecoming and they had these niggas at Union Station doing a fucking go-go show. I was waiting for the beat to drop. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I mean? I didn't, it was cool, but it wasn't, that wasn't for me. And I'm not talking about DJ Clue when he got signed and when he came out commercially. That's Basuda. I'm talking about underground DJ Clue before he got signed to Rockefeller. That's the DJ Clue that we talking about when he was just when he got signed, he got soft. I don't know what they did to him. It's almost like they snuffed out his way, because when he got signed to Rockefeller, it became political. The niggas that Rockefeller didn't like, you couldn't put Nas all over the DJ Clue tapes anymore because he signed to Rockefeller. So they kind of clipped all of that. You know what I mean? They wasn't gonna let him shine. Queens niggas wasn't getting that shine. That's why 50 Cent later on down the line, he made his own mixtapes. He was coming out with his own. He wasn't waiting on DJ Clue because he knew that Clue was compromised. Summertime Shootout, Clue for President. These are classic tapes that I'm naming y'all. I don't even know if it's on streaming networks, but if it is, y'all could go and listen to it, and you could probably feel the vibe and whatnot. But Big Daddy Kane and all of them, but when Clue comes out, they've been gone. They've been out the game. Like I said, Big Daddy Kane and them is up to the 90. They up to actually 1990. And then that, like I said, this nigga went somewhere with Madonna. He did a Playboy shoot. And then the next album he came out, it was Basuda, Big Daddy Kane. Like I said, she put this, she soul snatched him, and he was never the same. It was never, remember Little Shane? He was never the same. He was never the same. You know what I mean? It was Basuda. You know what I mean? This nigga he was doing all kind of suspect shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, she definitely got that graveyard box. Cemetery Yoni. That's the best way to say it, right? She got that graveyard. You know what I mean? A lot of she got Here Lies, the Big Daddy Kane. Here Lies, Tupac. Here Lies. I mean, she caught them all. She got a lot of bodies, my nigga. She should put them tats on her neck. You know? The Kardashians she's a case study. You know what I mean? They studied her. So Biz Markie, remember there was the beatbox wars. So there was Biz Markie, there was Buffy from the Fat Boys, and then there was my guy, Dougie Fresh. And everybody was trying to say, I was the first one to do this. I started this. This is my style. But and this is to show you, right? There's a video with T-Pain saying, look, we already got Future. We don't need 1,000 more Futures. And I be saying shit like that. I don't want to listen to the clone. I want to listen to the original artist who came up with the style. Fuck out of here with all of you clone niggas. You niggas are the worst. You know what I mean? I don't want to listen to Terra Fabulous, nigga. Give me Buju. You know what I mean? Like, what's up with these clones? So to show you, right? To show you that they would because back in those days you couldn't copy nobody. You would get chased off the stage. You couldn't clone an MC back in those days because it wasn't 100,000 MCs. It was only a fucking handful of them. And I kind of liked it like that. It was more exclusive because we didn't even think we could rap back then. To be a rapper, that was prestigious in the 90s before everybody became a rapper. After Big died, everybody started acting like they could rap. After Big and Pac died, that shit inspired everybody because, the bar was lowered after that. But every one of the beatboxers had their own style. They were beatboxing, but nobody sound. Yeah, they wasn't biting each other. You could not. Buffy had his own sound. I don't know how to do it. I'm just improvising. I'm not a fucking fat boy. You know what I mean? But Buffy had his own sound. Biz had his own sound. You know what I mean? He had his own beatbox sound. And then Dougie Fresh, he had his own sound. They all had their own sound that they were able to master and whatnot. So nobody was stepping on no one's toes. And they wasn't trying to drill each other. They wasn't sneak dissing. I'm gonna sleep with you. You know, they wasn't doing none of that stupid shit that we see these days. You know what I mean? And it was just, we was all having fun. You know what I mean? He was always Dapper Dan. He had his Dapper Dan shit on. He had his truck jewelry. You know what I mean? He was because you couldn't wear truck jewelry in these streets. You see how these niggas walking around wearing anything that they want? You couldn't do that back in the days. There was a few rappers that got robbed. And I'm not here to put their names out there, but you couldn't just walk around dripping like that. You know? You couldn't just walk around dripping like that. So the fact that he had on truck jewelry and he was in Albee Square Mall, he was in some of the most violent places, that was almost like a subtle, like we was like, we had to look up. Somebody said jewelry is fake right now. Yeah, but that all of that shit was hollow back then. All of that shit was hollow. That shit was like aluminum foil. You know what I mean? It wasn't solid Gucci links. Niggas didn't have solid Gucci links. That shit was like paper when you really think about it. But would it have been different if social media was popping in the 90s? Hell yeah, nigga. It would have been different if social media was popping in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? How many women would be in Tupac's inbox? If y'all would have been in Tupac's DMs, put a fire emoji in the chat. If niggas had social media in the 90s, would you been in Tupac's DM talking about I want to get around with you? You know what I mean? Slick Rick had all of the gold chains. Hell yeah. Slick Rick had all of the gold chains. Slick Rick is a super legend. Let's be clear. He went to jail. He caught a body and whatnot because somebody was trying to rob him and shit. So he caught a body and that fucked up his whole wave. But he was a legend. He was a legend. I promise you. He was a legend. The ladies loved them some Slick Rick. This nigga had an accent, sound like one of the bruvs in it. He was from across the pond. You know what I mean? Nobody could outdress Slick Rick. Nobody, there was no rapper on the planet who was more dapper. You know what I mean? Who put it together like my nigga Slick. You know what I'm talking about? He put it together, bro. He did. Hey, young world, the world is yours. You know? So, yeah, the ruler's back. You know? The ruler's back. Candy said that I be in his DMs to build, not for romance. That's right. I feel you. I didn't say, everything ain't about romance, but y'all would have probably hollered at the God, on some Jasmine guy. You know what I mean? What's her name? What's Will's wife name? Jada Pinkett type of vibe, right? Wasn't that Homie Lover Friends? You know what I'm talking about? But it would have been a huge mess. It'd have been a huge mess if niggas had social media back in the days. You know what I'm talking about? It would have been a huge mess. You could have just DM'd Slick Rick. You could have DM'd Will Smith, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been crazy. You could have, Biggie would have been posting him and Little Kim with relationship goals. Crazy. Crazy. Who was too busy in dance class? Tupac? Who was too busy in dance class? I want to know. What happened to his eye? I don't know. I really don't know. He probably lost it. you know. So Biz Markie, to wrap it up, he had a huge impact on the culture. He's an icon. You know, he's an icon. He's of an era before it went real commercial and whatnot. He's on the cusp of the commercialization because he was kind of known by people's parents. He was almost, he was known. Just a Friend kind of blew him up and everything. But, he's from an era of the golden era. He's one of those gods and whatnot on the Mount Rushmore of that golden era. He was bringing party rap, funny rap, and feel good rap. He's really a progenitor of that. You know what I'm saying? He was really a progenitor of that. You know, and I have a lot of respect for the brother and a lot of love, and it hurts that he may transition at such an early age, at 56, I believe. He's definitely a pioneer. So I'm saying all of that to encourage the youngins out there, the youth and whatnot, to get your history up and to listen to some dope ass hip hop, because he had bars. You know what I mean? He has some good music called The Vapors. Like, vapors is fucking dictionary terminology now. If a nigga stun on you, you know what I mean? Like, if you sleep on somebody, you cut the vapors. You caught the vapors. You know what I mean? He was the one that created that. So continue to listen to his music, put your babies on to his music, you know what I mean? And let his spirit live on. Let his spirit live on. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was definitely respected. This is something for the radio. Dun 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 dun. Dun. And them beats, Marley Marl is a beast. I mean, going back to listen to the music this weekend, I'm like, because keep in mind, he wasn't with Marley Marl the whole run, and you could hear it. I'm talking about the album cover where it's art. It's art. It's like a graffiti. He's sitting on the toilet picking his boogers. It's like that album right there, Biz Markie's greatest hits. And that's the music that I'm co-signing. I don't know about everything else. Cause like I said, he had a run, and that run was over in like 89 and whatnot. So anything that he made after that, I can't call. I can't, I'm not speaking up for that. I'm speaking up for the run that he had. That's the classic shit. You know what I mean? That's the classic shit. You know, the diabolical. Ha 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 ha. You know? So salute to the God. All right. Salute to the God. So what else we gonna talk about? Dipset or the Locks? What y'all feeling like? Huh? It's spring again. Everybody knows it's spring again. Oh, the album was called Going Off? Yeah, that album right there. Go get that. Going Off. That's it right there. Damn near everything on there is a classic. Everything on there is a classic. You got the Bismarck. You got Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz Going Off, Spring Again, Vapors, Friends. What, something about Friends? No, not that. Yeah, that those are some of the ones. All right. The locks all day, Dipset. Yeah. There you go. There you go, Jefferson. I know, I'm talking about. You know that hip hop. You know hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are gonna be pleasantly surprised, I think. Y'all gonna realize, because a lot of people is not really familiar with the Locks catalog. You know what I mean? Because like I said, y'all are familiar with the Dipset's influence and a few songs that they got. You know what I mean? They, because remember, this is about hits, right? This ain't about who you like, and this is about hits. The Dipset don't got as much hits as the Locks, I don't think. You know what I mean? I could be wrong, but these niggas got the Benjamins, bro. Like, and they got songs with DMX. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? They got Wild Out and they got songs. They don't let it be individuals. Don't let Jada go against Cam or Styles go against Jim Jones. It's gonna be a problem. You know, it's gonna be a problem. Lyrically, the Locks is a lot like the Locks started a lyrical style on the Clue tapes. Remember, they came out on the Clue tapes. Nobody knew what they looked like for like 3 tapes. You know what I'm talking about? We only heard this. We only heard the raspy voice. The Locks was, yeah, Richie. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all had to be outside to understand what I'm talking about. Like, I like the Dipset. I respect what they did. You know, they got, but their the strongest member is Cam, and then Jewels. You know, they both got warrior music. The group is called the Warlocks. You know, um, I fucks with Jimmy. You know what I mean? That's my guy. You know, Jimmy is Jimmy. Jimmy is a character. You know, Jimmy's a legend, but he don't make hits. You know what I mean? I don't think they could bring Hell Rell and Jay Ryder and all of them out. You know, I don't think that's what we're gonna be seeing. Jim has Fly High. Let's be clear. And Dear Summer. Let's stop playing. You know what I'm talking about? Let's stop playing with. Let's be clear. You know, I want to see Mace versus Cam. Straight like that. I want to see Mace versus Cam. That would be interesting. You know, Jim got 6 by himself. Well, then Styles P got 6 by himself too. You know what I'm talking about? And Max B is off the dip tree. Yeah, but they not gonna be playing no Max B. I promise you that. You know, they not gonna be playing that. You know, so it's gonna be, New York mixtape gangster street rap going at each other. You know what I mean? Going, yeah, thank you. Max B created Jimmy. You know what I'm talking about? He definitely helped him with his flow. He showed him the ropes. She gave him some type of formula because after Max B came home, Jim started rapping. He was the cameraman. He was doing videos. He was behind the scenes. He wasn't no rapper, you know. Machiavelli, what was it? Bigavelli, you know. Bigavelli had the streets super lit for a minute. Oh my goodness. He had shit. When I say he had it up, he had New York up for about 2 years. I promise you. You know? Yeah, Mace got hits. I mean, I'm not judging him for what he became and whatnot. But shit, Mace got hits, my nigga. Mace was running shit until he bowed out gracefully. Mace got hits. He could stand up to Cam. I don't know if he could stand a whole war, but it'll be a battle. That's a grudge match. They need to get it on. You feel me? Yeah, mixtape for mixtape. That's a whole nother thing. Now, if it was mixtape for mixtape, I might have to go with the Dips because that volume 2, the cover where he was playing Alpo with Jim is behind him, bro. That shit right there shifted the culture. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know if I could say a Locks mixtape that shifted the culture. It might have been one, but I don't remember it impact the way that the Dipset Volume 2 impacted the culture. They shifted that shit. You know what I mean? 24 Hours to Live. Niggas done started something where it was Murder Mace. Remember that? Yeah, they got 24 Hours to Live, and niggas done started something. That was the first time I heard Mace going silly as Murder Mace before he got got down with P Diddy and he made him pretty. He was wigging. He was wigging. I shit you not. The Dipset beats give you life. Yeah, it gave me life too. That was what's the name of the production crew that they had? They was a problem. They should have kept them niggas. You know? They should have kept him. Yeah, Nas was very camera shy for a long time. He wouldn't even do shows. His shows, he's not really a performer. I saw him at the Howard Homecoming in DC in the early 90s. He wasn't for the stage. That's not where he comes alive at. He's very shy. Fabulous was a shy nigga too. You know what I mean? He was a camera shy ass nigga too. He had to grow into himself. Ooh, Dipset versus State Property. Interesting. Cause they was both on the label. And that would be interesting. Yeah, money. Come on, man. The fuck. Money, power, respect. The Benjamins. 24 hours to live. Niggas done started something. I mean, they got hits, bro. Y'all sleeping on the locks. They got heat, bro. They gonna show you niggas. They got heat. Uh, what's the shit they had on Belly soundtrack? What's the song the Locks had on Belly soundtrack? That shit was crazy. You know? Locks versus Mob Deep. I mean, Son ain't here no more. What you gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you would have to see P spitting that shit. You know? You would have to see Prodigy spitting that. You know? Yeah, the fans is taking a W. They said something about you got to have a vaccination pass to go to the Garden. So I don't think I'll be there. Made Men. Oh, Locks got some, bro. They got some shit. They got some shit. The song on the new DMX album. I don't know about that. Chill, son. I don't know about that. Yeah, I mean, state property they state property needs to go. They need because this is what I like about the verses. There's two or three things. One, a lot of rappers got tension with each other over the years. And we know that people have grown up and they don't have beef like that. It's not like the drill rappers where if I see you, I'm gonna kill you and whatnot. But the verses is a hatchet barrier. It helps, it's a grudge match. It gets all of that tension out of the way. It introduces new people to catalogs that they probably didn't hear before, and it reintroduces people such as myself that may have forgot about certain songs. Like, oh yeah, oh shit, damn, son, okay, you know, and it introduces it to the newer generation, and it also shows these young niggas. It reminds them, like, fam. I mean, you niggas with your ringtone rap and everything, that's cute, but you gotta respect the shoulders that you're standing on. That's one of the things that I hate about this new generation is that they don't look back. They don't have no Sankofa in them. They don't give it up to the people. You niggas know that you was influenced by the Dipset. You niggas know that you like Durkio said. I was claiming Dipset. You know what I mean? Like, stop playing with it. You know what I mean? Like, you know that you niggas was influenced by these crews and whatnot. Give it up. You know you was influenced by Soldier Boy. Stop fronting on him and his new fake ass manipulative social media. Everything right now is cool era. I don't want to, everything is so microwavable and instant. If you talk about something from 10 years ago, you're old school. That's corny. That's corny. Don't let our culture get dragged by these new niggas and then they just erase and they just try to erase and delete everything that came before. Show some respect. The way that these rappers have treated Little Kim is disgusting. You know what I'm talking about? The way that they treated Little Kim is disgusting, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It's disgusting. You know? So it was, it was bringing people up to date. The Locks versus Wu Tang. Stop playing, bro. Go to sleep. Tom Money. My guy. What's good, my dude? Go to sleep. Don't ever say that again. The Locks versus Wu Tang, bruh. Wu Tang is a problem. It's 9 of them niggas. Wu Tang is a problem. Let's be clear. You gotta have to come with a super group, and I can't think of one. You talking Method Man, Ray and Ghost, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck. I could pull out RZA on you niggas. Bobby Digital. Don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all only saying that because y'all don't remember the classics. You know what I mean? They will rinse this. They will. Bruh. Bone and Thugs versus Wu Tang. It's a body bag. It's not even. You can't. It's not. No. 3-6 Mafia. Don't do it. 3-6 Mafia. Come on now. No disrespect to Juicy J and them niggas, but what are we doing? I don't think. Nah. Dog Pound versus Outkast. You smoking that K2, Jason? What you on? Dog Pound versus Outkast. You got to be a little. Come on now, stop that, nigga. That's out. You just said Outkast, Andre 3000, and Daddy Fat Stacks, nigga. Are you serious? I fucks with the Dog Pound. I rock with the Dog Pound. Daz and Corrupt. Is that correct? 2 niggas, right? Daz and Corrupt. The niggas who was knocking down the buildings in New York. Yeah, I want to see CNN on their ass. Put CNN or Mob Deep on them. That's what I would love to see. NWA versus Wu-Tang. That's a fight right there. Line it up. Time Money. You don't gotta go to sleep, my nigga. Stay up. Call Swiss Beats and Timberland and tell them I got 10 bands, right? Literally 10 rubber bands. And we gonna put that together. Let's go. I think that's worthy because we would have to get it done because don't do that. That's blasphemous. Griselda and Wu Tang? You niggas is in love with you niggas got that much faith in Griselda? I mean, Griselda is thirsty to do a verses, but give me 3 hits the Griselda got right now in the chat. Give me 3 songs that Griselda got that you niggas can name right now that the ladies know, right? Did the ladies know? Did the sisters, did the women in the audience give me 3 Griselda songs that women know? Please. I'm asking you, I'm begging you right now. Murder Inc. versus G Unit, that has to happen. That has to happen. That has to I want to see Eric B and Rakim versus Big Daddy Kane. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to see Cash Money versus No Limit. That has to happen too. You know what I mean? NWA versus Wu-Tang. Both have dead members. Yeah. I feel you, Jason, on that. Because remember, the argument is Wu-Tang, I mean NWA fucked up the game with all of that, nigga shit. You know what I mean? After Ice Cube left. Let's be clear. When Ice Cube was with them, it was a different group. When Jerry Heller took over and Ice Cube left, that them niggas it's a different NWA that we're dealing with. That's the NWA that people abhor, right? That's the people. That's the one that the people abhor because they was basically playing, Jerry Heller's game at that point. I want Wu-Tang to body these niggas and dust them off. Let's get it done. That one for the record books because we got to get that out the way. G Unit over Murder Inc. I'm riding with you. Yeah, G Unit for the body. G Unit for the body. I mean, you already know, man. This is the one. This is the one. Like, is it gonna happen? We should start a crowdfunding campaign or something. We raise about a 500 million. You know what I mean? This is the one. Even though Nas will get dusted. Yeah, I'm Brooklyn first, niggas. Fuck you.
To this day.
Yeah, nigga.
To this day.
I'm showing my Brooklyn colors, nigga. You know what I mean? I'm BK first. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. I love me some Nasir and whatnot, but Ether, you can't leave. Ether has to be performed. But yeah, that's a body bag. If you're talking hits, because that's what the verses is based off of. I mean, we've all watched the verses. Niggas is not playing a B-side records. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing their hits. You know what I mean? The verses is based off of hits. It's not based off of preference. It's not based off of, oh, that was my mama shit. That's what we used to dance to. And no, nigga. That's my baby mama favorite song. No, nigga. The hits, nigga. Like, what do we know? What's in the club? You know what I'm talking about? What was lit? What video? You know, that's what they're going off of. And before Biggie and Jay would shoot they shot, I need to see this right here. Straight like that. That has to happen. Like I said, these are grudge matches. These niggas is getting old and whatnot. Do you know what being old and you holding on to grudge? That shit it tugs on your liver. You know what I mean? You could lose your teeth. Like, it's not good for your health. Get it over with, guys. You know what I'm saying? Get it out the way. It's a grudge match. Get it over with, and you niggas could hug and whatnot and move on in life. Nikki, I was gonna say versus the girl that bodied her, Remy Ma, but she don't got enough hits. That's a body bag. That's a headshot. That's a body bag. Cardi B versus Homegirl. Get it out the way. Just, Cardi B with the stomach and everything. Just get it out the way. Get bodied, Cardi. Just come and get this body. You know what I mean? Come and get washed up and let Homegirl wrap you up and send you home and whatnot. And then we'll be all right. I want to see Clifford in the ring. I want to see expeditiously. I want to see this nigga T.I. in the ring expeditiously. You feel me? He got a powerful catalog. Expeditiously. He said he was a Jay-Z of the South. Blasphemous. You know what I mean? I want to see Clifford in the ring. I do. I don't know who he could go up against. I would rather. I want to see him though. Nicki with the 10-year run. Yeah, that would be messy. Drake versus T.I. Stop that. It's only if it's not Drake versus Kanye, I don't want to see it. That's the Drake and his fucking ego, he would want Jay-Z, but he could never get that. But if it's not Jay versus Kanye, I mean, if it's not Drake versus Kanye, it's a waste of my time. Drake versus Pusha T. Nigga, name 3 Pusha T songs. Stop it. And keep in mind, I had asked the people to name 3 Griselda songs, my nigga, and we went to cricket, what is it, cricket phones? Niggas turned on the cricket phone. Cricket mobile, nigga. You niggas is crickets. Yeah, do I have the cricket thing? Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, niggas, crickets. What the fuck?
Ho!
Where you niggas at? Griselda?
Cheer.
Drake? No, nigga.
I'm focused, man.
Yeah, you focus. Yeah, crickets. Somebody said 50 versus T.I.
And
Is that for it? Let me think about that. What about T.I. versus Wayne? What about T.I. versus Wayne? Huh? What about T.I. versus Wyclef Jean versus fucking Lauryn Hill, nigga? We talk about Wyclef versus the Marleys. No, nigga. Wyclef versus Lauren Hill. She gonna bring out prize, nigga. Prize. Wyclef versus Lauren Hill. Drake versus Kendrick. That's a body. Who you going with? Jefferson. Eminem versus Wayne. Ooh. You a legend for that. Eminem versus Wayne. Niggas would want to put Eminem versus Jay-Z. That I'm sure that the stands will want that. You know, Wayne is gonna kill anybody he goes up against with that catalog. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just sorry. Wayne is gonna body anybody that he goes up against with that catalog. I'm sorry. Drake versus J. Cole. It was always supposed to be that, wasn't it? Either Drake versus Kendrick or Cole. That was his original rivalry. You know what I mean? That was his original rivalry. You can't play Hotline Bling, Drake. You can't play none of that girl shit, passion fruit and all of that, nigga. The shit with Rihanna. You can't play none of that. We need bars. You know what I'm talking about? We need bars, family. Straight like that. We need bars. We need battle bars. Yeah, they can't keep up with this nigga Lil Wayne. Even though he's a gremlin right now, his work ethic was too crazy. If he pulls out Carter, if he pulls out the mixtapes Wayne, it's who's gonna fuck with that? Who could stand up against that? Who could stand up against that? Yeah, you can't play back to back. Can't play back to back. J. Cole versus Joel Ortiz. Oh, now it's getting late. You niggas is just reaching. I'm out. Yeah, let's get it. What's that? Gaza versus Gully, nigga. I need to see that. They'll have my nigga Vibes Cartel like they had what's his name? Hannibal Lecter. They'll wheel him out with the motherfucking jumpsuit and he'll have the fucking mittens on and everything. And then they just let them niggas rinse off. They'll just unbuckle him and they'll have like a fucking they'll have like an ankle bracelet on him. They be like, yo, rinse, nigga, go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing. Rap a lot records versus No Limit. I mean, theoretically, Cash Money versus No Limit. I want to see that. That was the rivalry. You know what I mean? Get all of the rivalries out the way. Rick Ross versus T.I. Cameron versus The Game. Planet Asia versus Rock Marcy. Wow. That's kind of crazy right there, bro. That would be a fight. That would be a fight. Yeah, Vibes definitely got that. Red pill versus blue pill. Oh, you already know what that is. Let's not even go there. You know what I'm talking about? Kanye will wash Drake respectfully. Well, they need to get that out the way because they got tension. You know what I'm talking about? They got tension. They've had tension for a very long time. You know? Scarface versus yeah. Yeah, Blue got bars. Yeah, and so does the monkeys. The monkeys got bars too. You know what I'm talking about? But that's not the conversation. You know, the pills versus AA Rashid. What AA Rashid though? Batman Mafia AA Rashid or the stuff he been putting out lately? Let's be clear. Y'all gassing. I already know y'all on it's late. Y'all on some what y'all drinking? Moonshine, my nigga? You talking about blue will win? How? Name me 3 blue pill songs. Yeah, I'll wait. Fuck out of What happened? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, without red pill on it. Okay. It's my guy and everything. You know? That's my guy. But yeah, what we doing? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, red pill versus polite. Set it up. 100 bands. Let's go. That's a body bag. What are you talking about? Just that. Yeah, name me 3 polite songs. How about that? Black Dot versus Griff. How you clowning your twin? I ain't clowning him. It's my guy. Oh yeah, he did. Oh, the Christ Consciousness album. Okay, that's right. My yeah, he got hits. He got hits. He got hits. He got hits. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Puff Daddy versus Diddy. You funny. Blue and Make 'em Boogie versus Red and Black Magic. I don't even know who Make 'em Boogie is. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who Make 'em Boogie is. Red versus Young Pharaoh. He make music? I didn't even know that he made music. That's a new one for me. Yeah, Christ Consciousness was crazy fire. You know I'm clowning on my brother. My brother got bars. You know what I'm talking about? I'm playing, man. My brother got big bars. You know what I mean? My brother is a beast with it. J Elect versus Cambada. I think I like that. I think I like that. You know what I mean? I think I like that. You know? I think I like that. You know what I'm talking about? Red Pill versus Sal Rock. Nah, we not doing that. You know what I'm talking about? We not doing that. Blue Pill got the voice. Oh, is that right? KT versus Red? Oh, no, we not doing that. Nigga said Red Pill voice is Post Malone. Oh, man, y'all are hilarious. Y'all killing me right now. Y'all are killing me. Can't buy the versus Loaded Lux. You stupid. Jay Elect versus Mock Hami. Ooh, I like that too. Killer Priest. Oh, nigga said Inky. Oh man, yeah, yeah. Y'all wildin'. Y'all are wildin'. Mama Bill. Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid, man. Y'all crazy. Now you niggas just going versus crazy. Everybody's a versus now. Umar versus Tariq Nasheed. Y'all are wildin'. Y'all are wildin'. You know, but you never know. The versus shit might trickle down into the consciousness. You know what I mean? If there's enough bags involved, you never know what'll happen. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all never know what'll happen. Kambada versus Immortal. I mean, that's 2 different styles. You know what I mean? I think that's 2 different styles and whatnot. You feel me? That's 2 different styles. But shout out to both of them. Shout out to everybody that's been mentioned tonight. You know what I mean? Shout out to every single person that's been mentioned tonight. You know, the fact that you're even mentioned says a lot. You know what I mean? So shout out to all of y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Red versus Shaka Utmost. He raps? You know what I'm talking about? He raps? I didn't even know that. Yeah, somebody said that the conscious community actually inspired the verses, and they damn sure did. They damn sure did. I promise you. The lecture fucking circuit, the debate circuit, it damn sure inspired the because the niggas was watching those like they watched the verses. They was locked in. You know what I'm talking about? They was definitely locked in. Woke versus consciousness. That would be crazy, right? Wouldn't it be crazy? You know what I mean? Me versus Van Lathan or something. Red Pill versus Ben X. Yeah, yeah. Run it up. Run it up. Get that BWO bag. Red versus 125th. uh, you stupid. Y'all retarded out there, man. But I brought this up today and I spoke about it briefly on Rich's channel. And I did a video on YouTube earlier. And yeah, I was talking about Styles P and I was, commenting on his commentary. And his commentary just didn't start this week. He's been on a rampage ever since we all came back from Kentucky. You know, he's been vocally expressing his disdain for gang culture and what it's doing to the minds of the youth. You feel me? He's been also speaking about the fact that the youth are being misled by the big homies and people who they claim to care for them, and he's highlighting the fact that they don't care for them. And he's also, been saying that, being that he's gone legal, he owns businesses now, and what he's about is helping to offset some of the damage that he feels that he has played a part in by, being legal, and being outspoken, because it's one thing to like stop fucking with the streets. But if you keeping it to yourself and you feel a type of way about the streets, but you scared to say it, then what does that say about you? You know what I mean? Like if you come from the streets and you know that the streets don't love nobody, and you know that the streets have a limited destination for the youth, right? But then you know that you had young people who were watching you in the early 2000s when you was on your street shit, and you were their heroes and whatnot, and you inspired them to get on some street shit, right? And now you were square, now you squared up, now you legalized your hustle and you got a LLC and whatnot, but you scared to vocally voice the fact of why you did it, and you're scared to speak against the streets. I'm not here to judge you, because niggas, the streets could be scary, and everybody doesn't have the testicular fortitude. They don't have the courage, and they don't have the passion to spit on, on the grave of something that they feel is dead. You know what I mean? Some people still have respect for the streets, even though they've left it and whatnot. So for the people who have managed to fight their fears, and they say what they say, I would have to say, you know what? I respect that. And it would be remissive of me to not call that out and not highlight that. You know what I mean? Because it's not an easy task. And I'm saying that to say that I hope that 100 more black men do that, especially, those that are in the industry, right? Especially those that are in the industry, especially those who have put out gangster rap over the years, trap rap, drill rap. You got catalogs of, of an energy and a frequency, you know what I mean, that the children and old people and everybody is still listening to and whatnot. So you kind of owe it to the people to turn another leaf, or to mature, or to 2.0 yourself, because you niggas can't be the same person forever, especially if the foundation in which you're standing on is a shaky foundation. Gangsterism and street culture, that's a shaky ass foundation, because you niggas was not gangster when it was time to be gangster. When they was rolling on us, when they was bodying our babies and whatnot, when they was drilling, when the other side was drilling our people, you niggas decided to go marching and wear t-shirts talking about you can't breathe. You lost the gangster lottery, nigga. You're not that. That's not you. Who the fuck? You lost that lottery. You can't get that back. when it came time for you niggas to show your gangsters, when it came time for you to show your thoroughness, you niggas dropped the ball. Trayvon Martin died in 2012. Nigga, we're almost 10 years to the date. We're in 2021. Next year is 2022. That's a 10-year clip. You niggas have not been gangster ever since then. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't done one gangster thing since that point. Zimmerman is still around. You haven't done one gangster thing because killing your own people is not gangster. Putting your neighborhoods under pressure, putting niggas' grandmothers in a terroristic type of mind state is not gangster. Making children feel uncomfortable is not gangster. Deboing women for for sexual favors is not gangster. You niggas throwing money all around the club is not gangster. Selling drugs to your own people and whatnot and perpetuating the quote unquote the drug, the chemical warfare is not gangster. I'm sorry. It's not gangster. Going to jail and bragging about giving your lawyer hundreds of thousands of dollars and whatnot, and you niggas haven't opened up one institution. That's not gangster. Do you know what I'm talking about? That ain't gangster. That's not gangster. So when we wake up and we realize the errors of our ways, because I'm like I said, gangsters do exist. Gangster mentality does exist. Niggas, it's people out here that put in pain. And at the end of the day, that's needed. It's a necessary evil. You need a warrior class. You need a warrior class. But if the warriors don't have no foundation, if the warriors are running around mindless, if the warriors have their fucking heads cut off, if the warriors are following the lead of warriors, then you're not fucking gangster. You're being led the wrong way. And that's why I feel that our communities have been we being punished. I mean, god damn it, yo. And like I said, you would have to come from a certain era to see what has happened. Like just from the conversation that we were having earlier about Bismarcky, there's people who was not in the era. You didn't see the beginning of this war. You don't know who got taken from us. You don't know the quality and the pedigree and the stock of niggas that we lost in this war. A lot of people came on this shit later. They came out they jumped off the porch late in the game, and we all got stories to tell. But I'm here to let you know from when I was about 11 and 12, I realized that great people were being taken from us every single night. You can't replace these people. They're irreplaceable. These are spirits that are irreplaceable. The potentiality that they had, the light that they were shining, you can't copy that. And then we left with these niggas that have dull lights. We left with people, it looked like they shining because the nigga done removed the sun from the scene. So these niggas is all standing around looking like they glowing or they shining, they have the light. But I was around suns. I was around supernovas, my nigga. I know what it looked. I was around people whose aura was blinding. These are carbon copies. These are not the original rappers. These are a lot of these niggas that you see perpetuating in the hood. These are like third generation knockoffs. I'm dead ass. We lost a lot of good men out there. We lost a lot of good women out there. And it's for multiple reasons. It's not just going to jail. There's like 99 ways that you know what I mean? 6 million ways to die. Choose one. Niggas done got taken out many different ways in this game and whatnot. So to see this shit, I'm like, yo, you niggas you're not fighting. You don't even know that you're at war. You're not putting no points on the board. You're not putting no points on you're not putting no points up against the opposition at all. You're wasting good men on the front lines and getting washed by an invisible enemy who has convinced a nigga who's standing next to you to fire on you. Friendly fire. This shit is disgusting. The way that it's so many different. It's a quagmire. That's the best word to say it at this point. It's a quagmire. There's no one thing. It's like 8 or 9 different things, interwoven. There's all kind of curses that are interwoven in each other right now. It's not going to be easy to get out of it. Where does it start? It starts with some of the people who are the architects and the progenitors. Styles P could be identified as an architect to some of this street shit. So the way that you start dismantling the spell is the architects have to stand up. They gotta be the ones that speak against the shit that they have their fingerprints on. It starts with them. So it's not just a regular rapper speaking against. This nigga is foundation of gangster rap. When you see the verses, you'll understand what the fuck I'm talking about. We just had a whole conversation about who's gonna win the verses based off of their track record and their albums and whatnot. And I'm like, yo, Locks, they have more, they have more I mean, I watch Harlem, when the Dipset came out, Harlem changed. Harlem changed. Now, the conversation is, did they change for the better or the worse? There was a certain pedigree of black woman in Harlem, and after the smoke cleared, she ain't there no more. I don't know what happened to her. When I was in Brooklyn coming up, we used to go to Grant's Tomb. We used to go to 125th Street. We were looking for a certain pedigree of Harlem chick, right? If anybody from New York, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. We was looking for a certain pedigree of a Harlem woman, and they would never come to Brooklyn. You couldn't find them in Brooklyn. You couldn't find them nowhere else but deep in Harlem, like a diamond. They were hidden jewels, hidden gems. They had the doobie. They had the nice door knockers, skin shining like Keisha from Belly. You know what I'm talking about? They was just a different type of pedigree. After the Dipset, nigga, and I went to Harlem, I was like, God damn it, what the fuck happened out here? Something happened to those women. You feel me? Something happened to those women. You know what I mean? They got turned out. You know? Like Nas said, black girl lost. So I don't know what happened. And I can't necessarily say that I can't point fingers at the music. The music didn't do everything, but something changed. And it wasn't an upgrade. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas is not running to Harlem to find wifey no more. How about that? How about that? Something happened. So if somebody talks against that, who may have played a part in that, to me, that's revolutionary. That's how this shit works. The OGs got to stand the fuck up and admit their wrongs. The OGs have to advocate some type of change. It doesn't matter if the young people are listening or not, because to be honest with you, the young people are too fucking cool. But the young people don't even realize, even if they're not listening, they was listening to you when you was spitting that nigger shit. They was listening to you when you was leading them astray. They was listening into you when you were spitting the toxicity. They was eating it up. But now they too cool because your frequency is too high. But don't worry about that. Spit your shit. Speak your speech. Because they'll catch on later on. You know, when the rappers die, they start playing your videos and everything, and people be like, oh, that nigga Nipsey was deep. I didn't even realize he was saying all of that. You know, you got to play the long game. But make sure that the content that they have out on you on the internet is not just one balance. It's not just one thing of you being a nigga and you being toxic and you leading your people astray, because I promise you, you will not be celebrated in the future. We're going to fucking burn effigies of niggas like that in the future. That's a fact. When we get this shit together, we're gonna scrub your names off of the walls. We're gonna pull your statues down. We're gonna burn effigies, nigga. You know what I mean? We're gonna identify the people who are detrimental to the upgrade of our people, and we're gonna banish you. Real talk. Real talk. So you only got one life to live. And for these old ass rappers, as you can see, a lot of them are dying young at 50. You're not supposed. How the fuck you dying at 50? Niggas is not slaves. You're not working a cotton field. You niggas supposed to be rapping. You supposed to be living on the, you supposed to be high on the hog. You supposed to have the best health care. So I'm just appealing to my OGs, not the young guys per se, because y'all have a role to play, but it's mostly the old heads who have their fingerprints, they have their thumbprint all in this shit. They played a big part in, and I can't blame anybody because we were all underneath the spell. I was under a spell. My spell was thick. My mama will tell you. I was completely intoxicated by the culture. It was hard for people to get through my thick skull. But once I woke up and I realized the error in my ways, I did a lot to help change that. I tell people this is community service that I'm out here doing. I'm not supposed to get rich off of it. This is community service. I can't compare myself to nobody else. I know what I signed up for. You know what I mean? I read my contract. I know my agreement. This is community service, nigga. I'm giving back because I've taken. And I know that I've taken, so I'm giving back. And I'm doing everything that I could do to clear my slate because I've created new lives on this planet. So I'm making sure that the sins of the father don't fall on the shoulders of my children. That's what I'm doing this for. Before it's too late. Because if they took me off of this planet before I was able to do my community service, before I was able to give back, I would be cursed. I would not be I would not be a legend. I would not be an icon. I would not be an immortal. The work that I'm doing and the pain that I'm putting in and the intellectual property and the content, all of this stuff will live longer than me. I'm not here for the moment, my niggas. That's not what I'm doing this for. I'm not here for I could give a fuck about the moment because the moment is fleeting. I'm here for the long run. I'm here for 100 years from now. I'm here for the history books or the mystery books for that matter. That's what I'm here for. Y'all niggas can have right now. Because to be honest with you, it's really, I mean, like I said, I stood on couches. I really lived the type of lives that people are literally dying to live right now. They're going to jail. They're getting life sentences. These niggas is out here getting their brains blown out to try to mimic some shit that we was already doing. You know what I mean? Effortlessly. I shit you not. I did this shit 3 times over effortlessly. I slept with so many women, I damn near forgot some of them. I'll be like, what the fuck is your name again? You know what I mean? Like, we did this shit effortlessly. I traveled around the world, the world, the nigga world, I'm talking about the chitlin circuit. You know what I mean? I did all of that. I went in the room. I shake the room before. I woo danced on a whole bunch of niggas. I stunned on niggas. I styled on niggas. I did all of that. I did all of the nigga things that niggas live to die for. Like it was Groundhog Day over and over again to the point where there was a point where I was tired of it. I remember I was in Atlanta on a bed surrounded by money and weed. And I was looking up at the ceiling and I was like, Lord, whoever the fuck I'm praying to, I'm tired of this shit. Show me another way. And right after that, I got locked up. I was on the run and them niggas caught up to me. And then that started a new phase in my life. And although it seemed like it was a bad thing, it was really a good thing. It changed the course. It changed the course and got me on the fucking path. And then 9/11 happened, and then everything shifted from there. But you got to trust the process. It's not pretty. You know what I mean? It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. And nothing is going to work out the way that you want it to work out. You know what I mean? How long did I go to jail? I was on a run for a parole violation, and I only had to do 90 days. I ran for 3 years to only get 90 days, but that 90 days felt like 6 months because they sent me to boot camp and they was working the guard. You know what I mean? They was working the guard. I was carrying huge ass logs on my shoulders. I was waking up 5 a.m. They had me in the mountains. It was called Mount Moriah. They had me in the mountains of New York State, where they wake your ass up at 4:30, 5 a.m. to do PT, which is physical training, or PT. And if anybody lives upstate New York, before the sun comes out, you already know how cold it is. That shit was going through my bones. My bone marrow was cold. You know what I mean? Somebody said, so you did 4 years. No, I was on a run in Atlanta. I wasn't doing no time. I was doing crimes. You know what I mean? I was on a run. I was playing a gingerbread man. You're gonna have to catch me, man. I'm not going to. I violated parole. They was like, come in and see us. I was like, nigga, come and see me. What are you talking about? Come and see me. You know what I mean? Spend some money and come and see me. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Catch up, niggas. Like, I'm gingerbread man. I hit the road, Jack. Not just turning myself in. But once I hit the road, I was an outlaw. I couldn't, yeah, I did the race out, but once I hit the road, I had an outlaw mentality and I was living off the land at that point. I was an outlaw. So I wasn't trying to be no legal eagle. I wasn't trying to turn my life in no direction. I was like, you know what I mean? It was fuck the world. And I was young, you know what I'm saying? So, young, dumb, full of cum. And then I go to Atlanta, out of all places in the world, and I find Atlanta Clark AUC. I discover Buckhead, 112, Gentlemen's Club, Otto's, Magic City Mondays. I went goof. I went out. I lost my mind out there. You know what I'm talking about? I discovered Greenbrier Mall, Phipps, Perimeter Mall, Lenox Mall. You know what I mean? All of the sneaker malls. And this was in 97. Nigga went crazy, bro. I ain't gonna shit you. I shit you not, bro. That it's a movie. I've been talking to some of my comrades about writing a book about this shit, but I don't even know if the statute of limitations have ran out. We was turning up. You know what I mean? This is pre BMF era too. We was turning up. We was, you know what I mean? Like, you know, was that before I met Pitbull? Yeah. Yep. I met Pitbull before he got signed. When he was just, he had the mixtape. He was hot. He was buzzing in out there in Florida. I went to All-Star Weekend in 99 in Miami, right? Because we used to do Memorial Day. Right? Everybody from Brooklyn would do Memorial Day. So first time I think I went to Miami was like, it might have been 97 or 98. You feel me? And then I ran into one of my day ones who he had did 5 to 15, but when he paroled, he came to Miami. My nigga Big Teach. Anybody in Miami, you already know who Big Teach is. He got the store, he got the restaurants, House of Mac and Cheese right now, right? He's a fucking legend. That's my day one. That's my guy. So Big Teach saw me and Blue Pill at the All-Star Cafe. Yeah, it was the All-Star. It wasn't All-Star Weekend. It was the All-Star Cafe and was Memorial Weekend. And we had the yellow bottles of Cristal because Blue was doing a little bit of credit card fraud. I'm not putting his information out there because he already talked about it. He had the punchies and whatnot. And we had Cristal. Niggas had platinum chains on. We was with Red Cafe. when they were the franchise. If you remember the franchise, not the franchise boys, the franchise. They was managed by Big Fendi. It was Q the Kid, Gravy, who played Biggie, and Red Cafe. You know what I mean? They was lit. They was signed to Violator, right? We was fucking with Violator back then too. And we was modeling. You know what I mean? I was on a run and I was doing fashion shows, my nigga. That's how off the edge I was. Cause my manager was Jackie Rowe, she was called Jackie Tyson, Mike Tyson's sister. So she was mad hood, you know what I mean? She had all of the industry contacts. So she was like, you know, I don't want you to be in the streets like that. Y'all got potential. Let me help you out. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put you on and whatnot. And she was like, I'm gonna put you on in the industry, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna put you into this contest. And she put us in a contest and we won the contest. They gave us money and then they start booking us for shit. Rockefeller, the Rockaway show, the Sean John show, they fly niggas out. So I'm like, I can't blow up because I'm on a run. I was like, I can't blow. I was like, I want to blow, but how I look like blowing up and I'm on the run. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really, so I had a dilemma right there. And it was like, I'm going back to the streets. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So I stopped fucking with whatchamacallit, the industry shit too tough. I would do it here and there, but I was really in them streets. I was outside, my niggas. I mean, really outside. When everybody was out, because I was outside, because everybody was outside back then. You know what I mean? We was all outside. We was in the clubs. This is post tunnel era. So we took the tunnel energy and we brought it to Atlanta and we kind of opened up Atlanta on some Brooklyn shit. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of my Brooklyn niggas in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like we you know how Brooklyn niggas are. We're like pioneers. We're like explorers. Like we was on our Corti. We was on our Pizarro shit. We was like conquistadors, my nigga. We was exploring new lands. And then we sent word back to New York that it was lit. Like, yo, Atlanta's open. Come on. And niggas started moving down there. And they started running down there and setting up shop. This was 1997, 98, 99. That's the years that I was out there at first. And I came back later and whatnot. I came in the BMF era. I was there when Wolf got killed in 03 at Club Chaos in Buckhead. I was there for the shootout when Big Meech killed Puff's bodyguard Wolf. You know what I mean? And the whole energy kind of shifted. They was on some anti-New York shit after that. And then I went to Miami. I started rocking with Pitt because he got signed and he was like, yo, I want to help bring you out the streets. Right? So there's been a lot of people in my life who've seen my potential and my brother's potential. And they've said, I'm trying to get you out of these streets because there's something about you and your brother that y'all got more potential than the street shit. You understand? They've seen something and they acted on it. And I owe a lot to each one of these people. I owe a lot to Pitbull, but really Big Teach, because Teach was his manager and he set it up. But it was his cosign. If Pitbull didn't cosign, and I also give him props because he fired me. I was his stylist and I was working merchandise, and he was like, I was too expensive, and this nigga fired me after like 2 years and whatnot. But if he didn't fire me, I wouldn't have met the mother of my son. So everything happens for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? So a white Cuban helped you out. Yeah, because the white Cuban was being helped out by niggas from Brooklyn because Big Teach was from Brooklyn. So the white Cuban was being helped out from niggas from Overtown. You know what I mean? Piccolo and them. The white Cuban had Luke Campbell behind him. The white Cuban had TVT with Brian Leach. The white Cuban had a whole bunch of niggas that was pushing him. His security guard, Purple, Big Teach, all of us, we was all behind the white Cuban because the white Cuban wasn't acting like a white Cuban around us. You know what I mean? And this is not Pitbull that you niggas know when he went commercial. This was the Pitbull to beat Dragon in the freestyling battle. This was Pitbull from Kulo and Damn It Man and all of that. That's that Pitbull and I'm talking about. The rapping ass Pitbull from Money Is a Major Issue. Remember that album? That's the Pitbull that I'm talking about. Pitbull that used to be with Little John. You know what I mean? He went Hollywood. He started doing the pop shit after I got the fuck up out of there because that wasn't my energy. You know what I'm saying? I would have been, it would have been like trying to fit a circle in a square. That was not my energy. I'm not putting on, you know, no tight ass suits. You know what I mean? I was his stylist. I wasn't putting that nigga in the finest Miami Vice outfits. I was putting him in fucking jerseys and whatnot. And I was trying to put some fucking 7 jeans on a nigga. You know what I mean? Like, but when he said, yo, as a stylist, you get free clothes. I was like, free clothes? He was like, yeah. And you get to go to the showrooms. So I was like, what's the showroom? So he took me to the showroom and literally it was like they put in clothes in I didn't have to steal anything. I wasn't boosting. They was boosting for me. The people in Sean John was putting clothes in my bag. The people in academics was sending us boxes of shit. They was just putting clothes in my bag. Before that, I was putting clothes in the bag. They was putting clothes in my bag. They open the bag. Let's put some clothes in there. Here. What size you wear? Here. Oh, all right. Big Teach. What size you wear? Here. I was like, I could get comfortable with this. So I was taking clothes and selling them. I would go back to the hood and I would sell the whole box to the hood. You feel me? I would keep a few outfits. I would sell the rest. He didn't, whatever he didn't want, I would sell that shit. So I was getting a few dollars on the side. I was, I went to the magic show with these niggas. And that's when I found out about clothing manufacturing. And I went from taking clothes to making clothes. That was my aha moment. I was like, aha, this is how it's working. Okay, look at this. And back then, like academics was real big. Sean John, Rockaware, all of these, urban brands and shit like that. They was coming up. LRG. Yeah, the magic show. The magic show is where I met the mother of Amir, which is my first son. Yeah, we made magic at the magic show. Magic happened at the magic show. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll talk about that one day. You know. So what I did was when opportunity presented itself, as you could see, a nigga got up and went. I didn't have no children back then, so I wasn't tied down to no baby mama. I wasn't tied down to nothing. You feel me? I had girlfriends and everything, but I was like, yo, I'm out. I'll catch you when I get back. You know what I'm talking about? I send the rent money in the mail. Yeah, when he had, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? When he had cornrows and sports jerseys. That's when I was in the game with him. So I took advantage of all these opportunities to travel, to move around, and I was legal. It felt good being legal. It felt good not looking over my shoulders. It felt good not scheming and whatnot. Cause New York niggas, we scheme a lot. We that was in our culture because it's scheme or be schemed with us. I'm talking about the 90s, man. I'm not talking about right now because I'm not scheming on nothing. You know what I mean? I'm talking about when niggas' fangs were out. If there's anybody in the chat that knows me when we was outside, you could co-sign what I'm talking about. In those days when the locks and the dipset was popping, nigga, you had your fangs out. It was scheme or be scheme because everybody was scheming. Everybody was scheming. You was gonna somebody was gonna rob you, or you had to put up a motherfucking front like, nigga, you can't rob me. You know what I mean? That's how they was giving it up. So I didn't have to scheme. We had the blickies. Everybody was strapped up. We in Florida. That's open carry. And that shit blew my mind. I'm like, oh shit, niggas is riding around with choppers and Glocks. Yeah, y'all not scared about it? Y'all got the shit sitting on the seat like you're shorty and whatnot. Like they got niggas got shotguns riding shotgun. I never saw that in New York like that. I didn't see that in we didn't have the opportunity to live like that in New York. You had to protect yourself with a razor. You know what I mean? If you had a gun, that shit was super tucked. So I'm like, these niggas live differently. I like this. You know what I'm talking about? I need to get my record expunged. I'm trying to strap up. So it was a relief. You know what I mean? Just living that Miami life. But I got bored. I got bored after a while. You know what I mean? It wasn't really for me. And I met a group named Duo Live, right? Shout out to Sid, shout out to Free, shout out to Udi, shout out to all the Stretch, Blaze. These were my guys. They were Rastafarian, right? Out of Bed-Stuy, hood niggas. But they was Rastafari. They Naya Bingy Rastafarian. Like they was on some ITAL, only eating ITAL. You know what I mean? They was, you know what I mean? Like they were really strict about their shit. You know what I mean? But they was still hood. And I never really like I had shared before that Dead Prez was one of the first groups that I saw be conscious and hood at the same time. And it intrigued me because I always looked at conscious niggas like they were squares, like Talib Kweli type of niggas. No offense to Talib, but I'm just like, these niggas are squares. Like, they not into women, you know what I mean? They not into getting money, you know what I'm talking about? So I was like, I can't fuck with niggas like that because y'all niggas is weird to me, you know what I mean? Y'all kind of weird. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand. I can't fit in. I would be square. Like, it would be like them hanging out with us. They wouldn't fit in because they don't move at our pace. But then I seen Dead Prez and they was in the hood. They got a record deal and they moved right on St. John's. They was in the middle of everything when it was cracking. This shit is gentrified now. We can't talk about New York anymore. I'm talking about pre 9/11 when the shit was crack-a-lacking. 9/11 changed everything. 9/11 changed, it softened up the city, it changed everything. It brought out of towners into New York. And that was something, it's almost like, you know, how Chicago was set up right now, and you could be like, yeah, niggas from Atlanta is finna move in on old block. You'd be like, hell no, how could you do that? You can't move on old block. So that's how New York was. Like, you couldn't move in Brooklyn. Nigga, what? If we found out that a nigga from Wisconsin was living in Brooklyn, you're gonna get done dirty. Yeah, it started with Giuliani, but 9/11 really changed it. That's why when Jules Santana said, welcome to new, what was that thing? The 9/11 with Cameron and Jay-Z, where he said when we lost the power, when we lost the towers. That's a fact. Like, something really shifted, something changed. So Dead Prez was some hood niggas, RBG, revolutionary but gangster. And Duo Live used to rock with them. It was Likes, it was Dead Prez, and Duo Live was like that energy. They was like the Dead Prez energy, hood but conscious. And that was really my first introduction to that type of lifestyle. And they had a mini mansion in the design district, and I lived with them for like 3 or 4 months because they was like, yo, Red, we want you to, you know what I mean? We want to document our movement, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was rolling with Pitbull, I was documenting everything. That's when I first picked up the camera, and I used to be on stage and everything, documenting everything. So I started capturing them on video because they would be on South Beach hustling and whatnot. And they was like, yo, after the Pitbull shit ended, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm about to go back to New York. And they was like, yeah, if you want to stay for a little while, you could stay down here. We got the crib, you know what I mean? We got like 10 rooms, da 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 da. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just chill, I'm gonna hang out for a while. That lasted for a few months. And it was interesting, you know what I mean? Like, I was doing a lot of soul searching. I was in an environment that was they were encouraging me to, find myself. They was encouraging me to basically, be myself. Like, because remember, you know, you suppress your intelligence around niggas that are not intelligent. You feel me? Like if you're in the industry and you're around industry niggas, you're not, and I'm talking about this was 03, 04. This is the crunk era. Niggas is not dealing with high frequencies and whatnot. So, you know, and to be honest with you, this was the beginning of the BMF era because they was down there as well, right? So it's trap music, it's Jeezy vibes, you know what I mean? It's trap, it's ecstasy, it's all of the pill popping, you know what I mean? It's niggas trying to get foreigns and whatnot, it's guns, you know, sex, guns, and rock and roll, right? Sex, guns, and trap music. That was the pervading energy around that time. So it was hard to be on some old, you know, I'm soul searching. But when I got with my roster, when I got with Duo Live, and you know, they would kind of like you couldn't be no niggas around them. They would, you know, they would hold you to the fire. They will hold you to the fire. And I needed that kind of discipline. You know what I'm saying? I needed that kind of brotherhood. And that was the shit that prepared me for Harlem. I didn't even know that Harlem was on its way. I got to Harlem in '05, and I never turned back after that. But when I look back in hindsight, it was almost like that was my preparation, because when I went to Harlem, I was able to tap into brotherhood. I was able to tap into consciousness, and it was street because we was in the streets of 125th Street. We was surrounded by the hood. Like you gotta understand, they was right there where we was at selling DVDs, gambling. You know what I mean? Some niggas had guns and they would hide them on the tire of Sinetta's car and whatnot. You know what I mean? They was scrapping out there sometimes. You know what I mean? Dudes was coming out there laying and trying to rob people. Like it was hood activities in the midst of all of the consciousness. So I was like, shit, this is my environment. I thrive in environments like this. You know what I'm talking about? I could thrive in environments like this because it's the type of edge that was there is the edge that I needed. So I wouldn't feel like I was completely playing myself, because in the back of my mind, I was like, I am so playing myself standing out here. Like I am the most derelict nigga that I know. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, I'm washed up. That's what I was telling myself. I was like, I'm washed up because why am I on 125th Street with the fucking Black Power niggas? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not supposed to be here. This is not what my life is about. You know what I mean? Even though, you know, when it came time to go to the lectures to see Phil Valentine, who was somebody I looked up to, and when Bobby came into town, that was like great moments and everything. But prior to that, my pride was fucking with me. I'm a fly nigga. Like, I'm a get money nigga. I'm a red monkey ass nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a polo wearing, boosting ass, you know what I mean? Bottle popping, you know what I'm saying? Sofa standing on, you know what I mean? Shit talking ass Brooklyn nigga. And I'm in Harlem with the Black Power nigga. This nigga has a bullhorn. You know what I'm talking about? What am I doing? And this nigga has pictures of slaves, of people being lynched on the wall. Like, I was embarrassed at sometimes. I was like, I don't fit in. This is not my fit right here. This is not for me. And then one day, some of my young niggas came up to Harlem and was like, I seen this little nigga behind a tree looking at me, bro. I looked down the block. This nigga was trying to hide by the tree, peeking and looking at me. And they was like, yo, that is Twin. And these niggas, because I remember when I went to Harlem, I didn't go back to Brooklyn. I didn't check in. I did not check in. So Brooklyn niggas was hearing rumors about Twin in Harlem. They was like, nigga, Twin ain't from Harlem. What the fuck is Twin doing in Harlem? That's not Twin. Twin ain't in Harlem. Twin is in Miami, nigga. Twin is doing it up in Atlanta. And then when them niggas came uptown and see me, they was like, and then when the young, and like I said, these are younger niggas who looked up to me based off of the street shit that I was on. So the nigga came up, and I'll never forget this. And it's funny. I'll share this in a minute. It's funny how the tables turn. And he was like, Twin, because they call me Twin. Like, yo, Twin, that's you? I'm like, nigga, who the fuck do you think it is? A clone, nigga? What you talking about? Is that me? Yeah, it's me. What's up? I was like, nigga, I got and I had I had a table with my shirts. And I was like, yo, they was like, what you doing out here? And I was like, I'm selling my shirts. And they was like, what shirts? Where's that? And I was like, right here. And they looked at the table like they didn't even see the shirts. And they was like, where? And I was like, nigga, you're looking at the shirts, the t-shirt. And he was like, what are you talking about? You don't sell t-shirts? And I was like, yeah, I do. And when I tell you the look of disappointment on this little nigga's face, the look on of this, and this is the same dude who I had defended when, back in the days in 93 when he had a problem and whatnot, and I had jumped in and I got cut as a result of that. You know what I mean? But I had made a promise to his older brother who got killed that I was going to protect him if anything were to ever happen, right? Make a long story short, that he's in the conscious community now. He turned his life completely around as well, right? He fucks with this shit the long way. You know what I'm talking about? He watches all of the lives. He's 10 toes down. He has children now. And he understands the sacrifice that I put in. But at that point, he couldn't feel it. You know what I mean? And he went back to the hood and he was talking crazy about me. You know what I mean? I know he was. I don't know exactly what he said, but the rumors started going around that, me and my brother had fell off. Possibly we might be on drugs. You know what I mean? It was all kind of shit going on because they didn't. This is '05. This is old. That's what I'm trying to explain to people. The woke never. There was no such thing as woke. You couldn't tune into YouTube to find out what niggas is doing. They didn't understand what consciousness community was. There was no debates. None of that shit existed. It was raw. It was hardcore consciousness. The shit got watered down. It was hardcore because Sinetta was hardcore on his Black Power shit at that point. He was screaming in the bullhorn, going bananas on these niggas. He had white people bowing down, that type of shit. Like we was hardcore, knee deep in this shit. And niggas was like, fam, I don't know what the fuck the twins are on, but whatever that shit is on, we don't want it. We don't want it. These niggas don't look, they wearing weird ass jewelry. These niggas have bracelets on. They don't got diamonds on. This nigga don't even have his diamond fucking earring in. These niggas not wearing, they not wearing polo. Like, what the fuck happened to the twins? Like, that was a running thing for a minute, bro. Cause you could feel the energy of niggas. Like, I would run into certain people and they'd be like, are you okay? I'm like, what you talking about? Are you all right, homie? You know how niggas be like, you all right, son? Niggas was like, are you all right, son? Blink twice if everything is all right. I'd be like, fam, I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? I'm great. So it took a lot, but I already knew what I was up against. And I put it all on the line because this was my passion. This shit spoke to me because, like I said, after a while, I became more comfortable being out there and I threw my pride away. And it just got to the point where I was like, there is no turning back. I burnt the fucking ship. I couldn't go back to Brooklyn. I couldn't go back to the hood. I couldn't go back on the block. I was in this shit all the way. And then my mama co-signed it. She was like, nigga, you doing good. I'm proud of you. Once she said that, it was over. You know what I'm talking about? Once she gave me that co-signature, nigga, it was no turning back. And then my son was born in '07. And then when my son was born in '07, I think I was 33, right? When my son was born, that really did it. I saw a whole human being coming out of his mama's yoni and whatnot. And I had a responsibility, and I was responsible for that life. Everything changed. I'm talking about overnight. It was like some type of chemical. They call it the what's the name? I forgot the name. The Kairos effect. You know what I mean? The Kairos effect. There was a chemical reaction in my brain that I can't really explain, but it changed everything about me. You know what I mean? Overnight. And I made a pact with my brother. He came to the crib. My son was born November 7th, and our birthday was the 14th. We popped some bottles and whatnot, and we made a pact right there in the bedroom by the crib, you know what I mean, by my baby's crib. And we never turned back from that point. And then we started our radio show like 2 years later. It's been on and popping ever since, my niggas. You feel me? It been on and popping ever since. You know? So no, Rihanna didn't ask my son to be in the video. It was ASAP Rocky and them. So yeah, that's just a small segment of the life. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm like I said, it's been community service because it's a service. It's a service that I do out of the joy that I get for what I'm doing. There's no money amount that you could give me. I promise you. I done counted up. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm not. I done counted it up, bro. I counted it. I threw it. I blew it. I did a bunch of things with it. It's not money. The money can't do it. The money can't fill the emptiness that I had inside of my hole. You know, it was the knowledge that filled me up. And it was the love that I began to acquire for myself as I began to study the culture, our history. I fell in love with Kemet. Like it did something to me, bro. I was infatuated with studying Kemet. And then the Moorish shit, when I got the Moorish bars, Asir was one of the first teachers and whatnot that kind of was hipping us to a lot of shit. Taj Tariq, Hakeem Bey. You know what I mean? Like when I started getting the Moorish information, Ras Mariah Bey, you know what I'm saying? Sister Yafa Bey, man, that shit really did something for me, bro. It solved a lot of because I was walking around with holes in my head. It was shit that I was confused about. So when you confused, how the fuck can you say that you are complete? How could you claim to be complete and you incomplete in you can't put one and two together? I'm like, how do we become slaves? How do we fall? Why is my name Moreland? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Because like I said, when I was going through the court system, I saw the reaction with the judges, how they would treat me based off of my name, and I didn't understand that. You know what I mean? Like it was so many shit that was getting answered for me. Man, know thyself. I was learning myself. And as I learned myself, I got more powerful. And as I got more powerful, I got more confident. And as I got more confident, my heart began to lighten up because my heart was heavy because I was carrying trauma, pain. I was let down. When you get locked up, my nigga, that's traumatic. Because I got to call one of my parents and tell them that I'm in the fucking pokey. I died every time they put handcuffs on me. A part of me died, my nigga, because I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. I knew that I let somebody down. And then when Dr. Sabi told me I had visited Dr. Sabi and I had visited my mama and Dr. Sabi in the year 2000, I'm coming from Vegas. We tore Vegas to pieces, me and my nigga Burger. And I went to visit my mother in California at Sabi spot in 2000 and whatnot. No, matter of fact, he revealed this to me. I visited him in 2000 and then I went home to Atlanta. That's the part where I tell you I was laying on the bed and I was like, I want to give this up. I'm tired of running and everything. Then I went and did my little skid bid. And then the day that I came home in 2000, August 28th, 2001, I went, they left me, they dropped me off in Brooklyn. KT, my nigga Entourage, who was his rhyming partner, and Blue Pill picked me up in an Acura Legend. These niggas drove all the way from Georgia to New York to go and see my mother, to go and see Dr. Sabi do a lecture. Dr. Sabi and them was at the Marriott, right? And they had 3 suites and they was doing big business with the herbs. And then I went there I'm all buff, you know. I got the up north glow, nigga glowing. I'm bald headed and whatnot because we was in boot camp, so you couldn't grow your hair. So I look like an alien, you know what I mean? I'm like I'm like 185. You know what I mean? I'm solid and shit. You know what I mean? My brother's like 130 at that point. I'm just saying, because he was on Bladderwrack and fucking CMOS, and he was like detoxing and shit. And Dr. Sabi was like, he took me to the side and he was like, yo, I see that you here and you home, and that's cool and everything. And he was like, are you finished hurting your mother, nigga? And I was like, at that point, you know what I mean? A nigga, I'm just coming up from up north. So, we not used to nobody talking crazy. I had to deal with the drill instructors talking crazy to me. So I'm like, wait, what? What did you say, bro? He was like, are you done hurting your mother? Because I'm the person that she comes to when she's crying, when y'all niggas are letting her, because Dr. Sabi is slick with the mouth. When you niggas is fucking letting her down, getting locked up, nigga, I'm the person that has to console her. So, like I said, nigga, are you finished with your bullshit? And when he said that to me, that shit cut through me like a Ginsu, bro. And I was never the same. You know what I mean? He put it in the perspective that I was so hard headed to see, because I was so deep in that life. I was drowning in the fuckery. So I didn't know that I was hurting people like that. I didn't know. I didn't know that I was hurting my mother. I thought that my mother was cool with me going to jail. She understood that it was a part of the game. So I was like, oh, and then he gave me some shrooms like a year later. He was like, here, take this Ziploc and chew on these. And, that helped me. You know what I mean? That helped me and whatnot. And it's been a process ever since. You know what I mean? Like, we are all fallible. Nobody's perfect in this thing. I got issues. We all got issues. We all fighting through these issues, and we just trying to do our best until we punch the fucking clock. You know what I'm talking about? But I know that he's proud of me. If you read the book that Mr. G put out, there's a whole chapter when Sabi was looking for me. He was looking for me hard body. It's called Finding Philip. That's the name of the chapter. He was looking for me because this nigga heard that I was lit. You know what I'm talking about? He heard that I was out here doing something. He heard that I wasn't out here being a nigga anymore. He was proud of me, and he was looking for me through tooth and nail. Every state that he went to on his lectures, does anybody know Philip? Have you seen Philip? Bring him to me now, please, please. He was searching for me, and I never got to see him until I didn't get to see him. We didn't have that conversation. You know what I'm talking about? That's still an open conversation that I'm gonna have with him when I see him. But he was proud of me, and I did something right. You know what I mean? So that meant the world to me, and my parents, you know, they see what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Yeah, somebody said Finding Phillips sounds like a movie name. That's gonna be a spinoff, like how they got the Power spinoff. You know what I'm talking about? We have to do the spinoff. I'm gonna talk to Nick Cannon. You know, like do the spinoff. So, everybody that's been instrumental in this journey, I will always speak their name. I will always keep their name alive. I won't never put dirt on nobody's name. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just keep it at that. I'm gonna just keep it at that. But when I'm out here doing what I'm doing it. Yeah, I don't know if people understand who I'm doing it for and why I'm doing it, and how serious this shit is. This is not a hobby for me. I gave up everything for this. I'm married to this. I've broken up relationships just for consciousness. I've sacrificed a lot, my niggas. I promise you. You know what I mean? And some of the things that I've sacrificed, they needed to be sacrificed. You know what I mean? AA, how did he play a role? I was 16 years old, right? I left my father's house because I had a falling out with my stepmother, and I gave my mama a call like, yo, I can't do this no more. You know what I mean? And then she was like, all right, um, I'm on the road with Sabi doing this work, but I'm gonna send you to Hafisa's house. And I was like, oh, okay, I remember Hafiz. All right, she cool. So then she gave me the address and I went there and I knocked on the door and she opened up the door and she said, hey, what's up? I was waiting for you. And I was like, all right, that's what's up. And then when I walked in the door, I took my shahada right there. And then I wound up living with A. Rashid and his mother and his brother Ashraf for like 6-7 months. You know what I'm talking about? So we was in the trenches. You know what I mean? We was out there when I went to jail in 97. No, I went to jail in 93. He was the last person damn near that I was chilling with. You know what I'm saying? And I think what did I give him a gun to hold or he gave me a gun to hold? One of the, AA was out there. When I say that he was out there, bro, I never sold crack. I wasn't into that type of thing. And he was out there. He was out there. He was doing juxas and stick ups. Like, we was just holding each other down. And when I went down, I wound up getting caught up in some shit. And then he went and got 10 years. So I didn't see him when we didn't see each other behind the wall and whatnot. So when I came back to New York City, no, when I was working with Pitbull, me and him started communicating in letters and shit. And I would fly to New York and I would go and visit him on a visit floor and just tell him about the life that I'm living and whatnot. And I would encourage him to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying, son? This shit is gonna be lit when you come home. So it went from me giving him the industry shit to visiting him in like '04, '05 when I was in Miami fucking with the conscious shit. And then '05 when I was doing the Harlem shit. And I was like, yeah, son, this shit is right. But at that point, he had already wrote three books or something. And he was linked up with Dr. Phil Valentine. And Valentine was like, when you come home, I'm gonna have you open up for me. So to be honest with you, he already was lit. Like his name was buzzing in the community because of his books. Niggas knew about him when he was behind the wall. He was already lit based off of his books. And the fact that if Phil Valentine said your name, or if any of the master teachers said your name, you was lit. You know what I mean? Like you was lit. You know what I'm talking about? So when they said his name, people paid attention to him. You know what I mean? People paid attention because, like I said, there was no social media, there was no like button. The co-signature was coming from the top. The big homies, like how the gangsters got the big homies. The big homies was the master teachers in our community. That was the big homie. Whatever they said went. Whatever they said was a go. If they said that you was lit, you was lit. You was lit. So they co-signed to God. He came home '06 and he took it by his horns and he started a whole wave. You feel me? He started a whole wave because remember, there was a point where consciousness, as if you were standing on that stage, you wasn't cursed. You didn't have the hip hop swag. Like the master teachers, they was of a generation. A. Rashid would be to be considered the newer generation. Him and Black Dot and things like that. Those teachers would like the newer generation, to whereas they wasn't, you know what I mean? They was giving it up differently, you know what I mean? But they allowed people like me in the audience to feel like I was welcomed. They made me feel like I was welcome because I was like, oh, these niggas speaking my language, you know? I wasn't speaking the language of the some of the studious teachers, the ones that were real deep in academia. You know what I mean? We didn't speak the same language, so it was almost like I was in school in a sense. You understand what I'm saying? The young niggas, we was in the audience, but we really felt like we was really in college because the academia, they wasn't, you know what I mean? They was giving it up academics, like they was giving it up like they was professors for real. When the younger teachers came in, they was talking to us like they was like we was all, you know, we understood. They had certain type of inflections, and you understand what I'm saying? They opened it up. They opened it up. If that's a better way of saying it. But yeah, I gotta go. It's 3 a.m. my niggas. Like I gotta tap out. I appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? We had a great night. If y'all respect what we was sharing, go in the description and buy the tickets for Thursday. Me and Blue Pill are gonna be doing a lecture on Zoom. We're not gonna be doing, it's gonna be online only Thursday at 9 p.m. Maybe I'll do Third Eye Thursday before that and just talk to y'all. But you know, that's in 2 days. And we've been studying real hard, arduously for this upcoming event. So yeah, be in the building so we can share the information. Like you said, like y'all know already, YouTube has been censoring us. There's certain things we can't even say. So we're gonna have to say it on Zoom until they start censoring Zoom. But a lot of the heavy information, we got to put that behind the firewall because we really can't give it up, you know, on the YouTubes right now because you don't want me to lose this channel, right? Cabin, salute to you, King. All right, so peace to everybody. All right, we'll leave y'all with a song, 10 Summers. All right, shout out to Mama Sauce. I see you. You're super talented. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get you this Grammy and whatnot. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is. Peace.
Summer's 10 winners. Hustle 10 summers, 10 winners. Them haters paying no attention. We never gonna stop winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 winners. You know we got it out the mud. You know we keep our pockets stuffed. They don't wanna see us winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 winners.
We used to hit the gym and train together. We used to spit the gems on the train together. Early 90s, reign of terror. From the era of the pain and pleasure, the chain and leathers. Gotham City, Bruce Wayne vendettas. Southern California, it never rained forever. Now we change the weather, sitting first class on the planes forever. Taking pleasure in the same endeavors. We make it rain forever. Wearing chains out the treasure found in ancient deserts. Kings County very own, though we ain't no peasants. Nah.
You know we got it out the mud. You know we keep our pockets stuffed. They don't wanna see us winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins.
I monetize my thoughts. I seen too many traumatized in court. Where homicides were fought. They benching the ballers who personify the sport. The henchmen's the taller, like the samurais were taught. 32 degrees in the Jubilees. Neck cold cause the jewelry freeze. 32 degrees. You can feel it in the air, yeah, it's through the breeze. Like it's nudity. We are not the same. Separation 32 degrees.
Hustle 10 summers, 10 winners. Haters paying no attention. We never gonna stop winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins. You know we got it out the mud. You know we keep our pockets stuffed. They don't wanna see us winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins.
I live in the now. You live in the no. I live in the sun. You live in the snow. My bitches is poison, Belle Vivin DeVoe. They snatching them souls, attached to the pole, adapt to the cold or capture a cold. The valley of death where the masses have fell, where the ratchets will blow. They casting them spells. Bitch, you could bask in the smell. I'm from where the cast to dwell. I'm from where the baskets can tell where you casting the spell. So you blink your emotions, we mastered it well.
Hustle 10 summers, 10 winners. Haters paying no attention. We never gonna stop winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins. You know we got it out the mud. You know we keep our pockets stuffed. They don't wanna see us winning. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins. Haters paying no attention. We never gonna stop with it. Hustle 10 summers, 10 wins.